No more bad government.
Niger Watch.
No more bad government.
Niger Watch media.
No more bad government.
No more bad government.
No more bad government.
In Nigeria.
No more bad government.
No more bad government.
No more bad government.
The only media.
No more bad government.
The number one media in Nigeria.
No more bad government.
That have been speaking against government.
No more bad government.
Niger Watch.
No more bad government. No more bad government.
Niger Watch, yo. The voice of the voiceless. The voice of the voiceless. Voice for the voiceless.
Voice for the voiceless.
Niger Watch media.
Voice for the voiceless.
Niger Watch media.
Voice for the
The
voiceless.
only media that have been speaking against bad government. Being consistency since 1944.
Voice for the voiceless. Voice for the voiceless.
Umuwame.
Voice for the voiceless.
Umuwame.
Voice for the voiceless. Voice for the voiceless. Voice for the voiceless. Voice for the voiceless.
Voice for the voiceless.
Voice for the voiceless.
Niger Watch, yo. We have been seeing all you guys have been doing. And we recommending to everyone in Nigeria, saying that you guys are the number one. Niger Watch,
Oga Mr. Jonathan F. Emmanuel and Mr. Niger Watch. So, Niger Watch, thank you for the opportunity for us to
God bless you, sir.
further stretch these issues that were raised today by Peter Obi, His Excellency Peter Obi.
Oh, you go talk and reach next tomorrow. No, wahala.
No, no, sir. That's not actually what I meant, sir. Well, at least you give your followers a basis, because it is easier for you to lay your seed first than for you to start changing and what other people have laid down. Because if we don't do it today, tomorrow you start saying arguments. His Excellency talk like this. No, he not talk like this. No, now waiting me. No, not be waiting me. No, so today, if we have been able to discuss this, I know a lot of people play back these videos sometimes. Yeah. Well, for me, I was very, very pleased with most of the submission and most of the answers given today by His Excellency. And apart from just the answers, but for the fact that he made himself available to be questioned on contemporary issues in Nigerian politics, that alone is enough to douse a lot of tension and a lot of speculations. At least we are hearing from him. The leader we are looking up to is talking to us, because in talking we solve a lot of problems. Although there were still some gray areas, which is understandable that he couldn't just delve into the way we want him to do, because we must all understand and remember that His Excellency is like somebody that is renting, not just him, all of us, we are renting an apartment from Labour Party. Because if they wake up tomorrow and they choose to kick us out, they can do it. But be that as may, that will even ginger us to go and start a new political party or go elsewhere where we can have a proper traction on whatever is going on in Nigerian politics. But, you know, be that as it may, we must understand where he is coming from. He is being careful with his words. Yeah. Then in general, I'm not really too enthusiastic about 2027, not until I can see clearly that how will I put it now? The issues that led to we losing the last election, not until the issues they are all completely being addressed. Because if you look at the way the power play is structured now in the country, imagine when Buhari was in power and the faction of people, yeah.
Can we say it this way, maybe rephrase it this way, that those factors that made them say that the election that we won
Thank you, my
are
brother.
aggressive.
Thank you. You see, that's why I always like this platform. I was looking for how to just phrase this thing you just said now. I was looking for how to phrase it, as in to
Because
give to put.
if I will hold you on that, if I will hold you on that, sir, sorry, sir. Lai Mohammed, an elder statesman, over 70 years old, went to Washington, D.C. with
Okay.
taxpayers' money that could have built several classrooms in Omuaran, Kwara State, where he came from. My paternal grandfather is from that state. He wasted that money, went to Washington, D.C. to tell them that they intentionally switched off beavers
The givers,
when they
yeah.
saw how the election was going. So we'll say that until those things, those factors that made them say that the election that we won, we lost it, are addressed. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. And bring give us our mandate. Like I said, that's why I really love this panel. You know, people come with a different level of IQ, intelligence. So I didn't just know how to frame that. So that's why I just went that way. Like I was saying yesterday, that there's no way I will ever get involved in discussing the statistics of the last election, the federal election. I can never get involved in that statistic because that was not a true reflection of what really happened. So, having said that, I'll just progress in my submission. Now, until they are all addressed, I don't think I'll really be enthusiastic. Because if Buhari and his team, and remember that his Buhari's team, the CC was the CPC faction, they were at war with Tinubu's faction. If they can still do this, just think of what Tinubu and his team will do now that they are in power. And let's not also forget that as no matter how crooked Tinubu appear to be, he is completely more intelligent. He has more intelligent people around him than the Buhari we are talking about. Buhari's people, they just use raw force, raw power to do whatever they want to do. But Tinubu's team, he has all of them, the IT specialists, everything, he has them. So if we don't do everything we can to make sure that those factors are all taken care of, it's just going to be another day, like another day in the office, like they used to say. Because nobody will expect a man like Tinubu, considering everything he went through, how he patiently waited to become the president. They expect him to do one term and just go away. That's not going to be possible. Even in a free and fair election, it will be difficult to unseat him. It's not just going to be wishful thinking. Imagine Mike is by Barrister Mike is a Guinea before that last election. His videos are still everywhere on YouTube. How the process is ironclad, nobody can penetrate. How he said that if you don't generate on the day of election, once people register to vote, a new register is generated, voters register, and everything about litigation will be based on that new voters register. But they threw all those things away. He also has a short video where he talked about the 25% FCT. He was repeating it, the significance of that 25%. And if you don't get that, you can never. The videos are still there on YouTube. Each time I want to console myself, I just go and look at those videos and I say, oh, yes, we were actually robbed of this victory. The videos are still there, but they were all thrown out. None of them were given credence to. So there must be a robust approach to solving these problems that led them to declare, that led them to steal our mandate from us. Because as long as those things are there, it will just be like doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Because clearly, even with the short time His Excellency had, he was able to defeat these people. But look at what they did. So, what we should be, the main focus should not be on Yeah, it shouldn't 100% be on how to get more votes. It's going to be more or less how to defend the votes. Look at Enugu State. Today we celebrate Alex Oti, and we all forgot that we could have had another Oti in Enugu State and some other states like that. We could have had more people in House of Assemblies, in the Senate, but these guys, they were all rigged out. And the laws of the land couldn't save any of them. Look at what happened in Nasarawa, Plateau. The results at INEC Portal clearly show that we had over 1.2, about 1.1 million from Plateau State. But what did they give to us? Look at Lagos. What did they give to us in Lagos? Look at Rivers. My God, APC won Rivers in the presidential election, and PDP cleared Rivers in all the other elections, like 90% of all the other. So the thing is that the laws couldn't defend all these atrocities. The laws couldn't defend them. So how are we sure that even if we do more, if we do better, how are we sure that the laws that we have now can do something to protect those votes? And guys, if you don't even know, despite the way the election went, just imagine if the real numbers we got in Lagos, in Plateau, and in Rivers alone, just those three states, if we were actually given the real numbers, we would have still defeated Agbado with their rigging and everything. We would have still defeated them hands down.
I
So
think
that's
I
why,
think I think what you are saying, I think we sometimes forget that it's not only the top that is able to rig. The people themselves are part of the rigging mechanism. And sometimes when we talk about the top, we forget that no matter how you try to clean the system up, if the people themselves that are going to conduct the election are prepared to rig, you're going to have a lot of problem, and you have to find a way to check them. And one of the, I don't know, we need to find out how many I think the data was out there, the specific number of polling units that are there, whether you could have people that will emerge from the diaspora to monitor these polling units one at a time, because the way this is work, you have to have a body or a group that is there monitoring this thing in and out, because there's a lot of redundancies in the system. Let me finish. There's a lot of redundancies in the system. Remember, the police have a
No,
scorecard
sorry,
of
Sunaja,
what was done. Yes.
that's
Sunaja.
right. Yeah.
Sorry, my,
I
my
think,
network actually is fluctuating. So maybe if I'm out again, somebody else can take it up. Thank you.
yeah, I
Well,
thought it
that's
was a
fine.
short intervention, but it was just, yeah, yeah,
He
so
became
like
long
that.
lately. So I thought
Yeah,
it was a short one too. But my
I
point is,
was
I think
waiting
you
for
should
you to
take
laugh.
into account the people
Yeah,
involved in the process.
you made a
Mm.
very solid point. You see, and that's what we are also saying. The activities of the different representative at the polling units. You know, the calculation was that okay, if you have a particular polling unit, because you have three strong party, Labour Party, APC, and PDP. So, for example, even if APC doesn't have somebody there to monitor the vote, but the LP and the PDP can checkmate each other. The same thing in other places. For example, where LP is not strong, the APC and the PDP agents they can checkmate each other. So despite the fact that the LP candidate is not there, the vote to a large extent can still be secured. Now, the question is that the laws, that's why the laws clearly make it, the law was not really specific. Because if you're talking about these beavers voting, the law didn't rely and the court they didn't rely on the votes that came out from the various polling units. So assuming we had the a very effective law that focused on those votes, the electronic voting system, the votes that came up from the various polling units, you know, whether we have agents there or not, the vote would have still counted to a very large extent, to more than 80%.
But they
But
said that they did have it, and the numbers were still favoring APC because of it.
no,
The
no,
question
they
is, how is that
completely.
possible?
That is why. No, that is why to Nigeria. That is why till today. It's been about a year that these elections were conducted. If you see all the results that were uploaded, the results that were uploaded at INEC portal, the INEC people, they jettisoned all these results. That is the problem. So
Mr.
even
Chris,
with the, yeah,
sorry to interject you. I don't know if you are still the one that is still on or somebody else took over. But on
it's
that
me.
result, okay, now if you go to RF portal, will it not be shameful that today Nigeria cannot tell a US senator, the last election, please go on INEC RF portal and see the result for themselves. They show the will of the people, and that's how
Yeah,
Nigeria is. Very
that's the
ridiculous.
much point I was trying to make to Nigeria. That despite the fact that we didn't have agents in everywhere, but parties, PDP agents can counter that of APC. In other places where Labour is strong, Labour will counter PDP, just like that. So at the end of the day, the results that were uploaded at INEC portal clearly showed that Peter Obi won that election. But unfortunately, they refused to use that result. Rather,
Oh
they
no no
took
So
no
it.
no! It's
can
only
you
the
bring it
Lagos
up
one
again,
that
Mr. Chris,
it's
so that we
only
can
the
have
Lagos
further
one
debate?
No,
that
how can
sorry,
you
is
say
it
only
the
the
Port Harcourt
Lagos one
one?
to Nigeria?
No,
Only
no,
the
sorry, sorry.
Lagos?
It's not the Lagos one. It's the Port Harcourt one that was overturned by IREV. The others were not overturned by IREV. That
No,
is the
no,
problem.
not only the Porter, the others, they didn't. What
River
about the
State one, I
place? It's
mean.
all over
What
the
do you mean?
country.
What do you mean by overturn?
Yeah, the River
Mr.
State
Chris, Mr. Chris,
IREV
Tunaja,
indicated
Mr. Chris,
that
I think your time,
Labour won.
Mr. Chris, I think your time is
Mr.
up.
Chris, your time
Please,
is. Tunaja, please
let's
hold
move
on,
on.
sir. Hold on, please. Mr.
Can I
Chris,
round
I
up?
think. Okay, round up in one minute, sir.
Okay, and lastly, to Nigeria, you see that dollar thing you are talking about. Now, ask yourself, it's a voodoo economy. There's nothing going on. They are just manipulating the dollar for their own personal gain. No improvement, nothing, nothing. Now, if you really want to know, why we keep blaming the common people on the street that they are not bringing the prices of their goods and services. What about import duties? How come the import duties today is not based on the current dollar rates? The current dollar rate today. How come the federal government has not adjusted it? If they are really sure of what they are doing, they should adjust import duty to the current exchange rates, the one they are propagating everywhere. Why is it still the old dollar rate to naira? So that's my
Okay,
submission.
thank you
Thank you
very
very
much,
much.
Mr. Chris. Thank you, sir. Mr. Jonathan, over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Give us our mandate and all the panelists. Thanks to everyone there. Those that are still on the comment section, those that are listening. I greet everyone. See, let me quickly talk on this dollar thing. Please, Nigerians, please don't be fooled. As they say, once beaten, twice shy. You see? So what they are doing now, let's just lay it out. One and two. First, Nigerian politicians are very crooked. At least we all agree on that. We know that Nigerian politicians is all about themselves. We all agree on that. When it comes to the dollar naira rate, it is not different. They are playing the crooked game. See, this budget, the money that they will steal from the budget, is for them is a step-by-step process. They are very, very smart people. Nigeria are sophisticated criminals. Unfortunately, those are the people we have at the ends of affairs. First, they make sure that the dollar they use to give these people who have their dollar to collect from CNN, they gave it to them at 1,500 naira to a dollar. That's the first goal. They want to achieve that so that they messed up their money, first of all. Now they will bring the naira down. They will bring the dollar down. Remember, every naira that they steal in Nigeria, for every naira, 70 kobo, these people convert it to dollar. What am I even saying? I'm just being conservative, but let me leave it at that. Every 1 naira they stole, 70 kobo is converted to a dollar. So every 1 billion naira that these people end up stealing, 700 million is converted to a dollar. It is not in their interest to do the conversion at 1,500, 1,600. Let them finish implementing this 2024 budget. When they have packaged and steal everything they want to steal from it, then when they have successfully changed it to dollar, then you will see dollar where it is. What is backing up the dollar? How can people, this is exactly the same thing we're talking about. You are rigged, you are robbed, people did not come out, they didn't do anything. It is the same thing now. They just, playing the game, bring dollar down. They can bring the naira dollar, they can bring it down to 1,000 naira. So that when they want to change their stolen naira, Nigerian dollar, they will get it at the cheapest rate possible. That's what they are doing. Because they have calculated the man that already awarded 100 billion constituency budget to himself and is going to steal the entire amount, 80-90% of that money is going to steal it anyways. And he knows that if he's going to convert the 70 billion to dollar, he will get less dollar if dollar is left at that rate of 1617. So they go to play their game. Bring the dollar down to 1,000. So when he steal that 70, you can see that the amount of dollar he will get will be 50, 60, 70% more. So that's the game there. But again, that's why they always say, they are even bold to say the more you look, the less you see. And they continue to play it on Nigeria. There is nothing to support the naira. So all we're just seeing, as some people will say, voodoo economics, you can give it whatever name. So don't dance on that. Don't dance on that at all. There is nothing they are doing as of now. I would like to hear it and to discuss it, to have conversation on it. What the Nigerian government is doing right now that is supporting the naira, that is discouraging the use of dollar. I would like to hear those things. It's just that would be an interesting conversation. So I will leave that at that. See, when I said earlier that Mr. Peter Obi, was not clear and there should be some clarity, that's my opinion, and I stand by it 100%. Because why? I am not the person on this platform, anywhere on social media.
Was not clear what, sir?
Well, I'm coming now. When I on this platform and on social media, if you want to see my footprint, they are all there. I always come out on this government, on even previous Nigerian government, that one of the methods they use to deal with Nigerians is coming out. They are never clear. Everything is ambiguous. There is no clarity. I said that over. So I cannot be accusing them on that. And I will see the same, even if it is Mr. Peter Obi that is ambiguous. I will call him out.
That is true.
I will call him out. I say it all the time because it is ambiguity that they use to bamboozle Nigerians all over the place. That is why a governor can come out today and say this. Tomorrow he will tell you that was not what he said, and people will move on. Because when he said it, you can't hold him accountable. He was not really clear. So he has room to manipulate. He has created room for him to change his stories, to change the narrative. Because there was no clarity in the first place. And I said it is for our own good. When I said it was not clear, it is for our own good. In the area where I said it was not clear was in the area of the Labour Party issue, the financial misappropriation of Mr. Abure. Yes, he answered it well in that part that there is an audit going on. Fine. But please, I have accused this government, the Nigerian government, the current one, the previous one, and I know many people have said the same thing on this government, on the Nigerian government. When Mr. Peter Gregory Obi said there is an audit going on, when will the audit be completed? For me, that is an ambiguity of the highest order. You must tell us. I know you don't talk with all your mouth. I'm not naive. I know there are certain things that you will not say. Yes. But there are certain things that you must make clear. Will the audit go on in perpetuity? Or there is a definite timeline? It's like our ministers that they said they are going to start student. Yes.
Well, I don't think for me that should be easy to flog, because
No.
if you
I'm not. See. The reason why it should be flogged. See, the reason why it should be flogged is that as long as it is not dealt with a definite dead timeline, Mr. Abure has all the right to continue to stay there. You can say all you want to say, but until it is dealt with, let us know, because Mr. Abure is standing on that. He continues to use that as an opportunity to continue to perpetrate himself. When we all know that he ought not to be there right now, he should be kicked out. Yesterday.
No, Jonathan, the BOT have taken over. They've taken
all right, fine.
over. Yes.
Okay, fine. But you heard Mr. Peter Obi today. Mr. Peter Obi said that before he will make any decision, please, you have to go and listen. I listen very well. And I don't just listen and then try to come and recap. No, I take notes. I have it word for word. Mr. Obi did not say it emphatically. He's waiting for the outcome of the audit before he can now come out and say he renounced completely in public. He might not have any discussion with Abure, but he didn't say clearly today that he doesn't have any, that Mr. Abure is not the authentic chairman of the party. Did he? Did you hear Mr. Obi said that? He didn't say that. He said the audit must be when the audit is completed, then a decision will be taken at that time. And that consultation is going on. And he tried to make consultation with them even before this crooked illegal convention. That was good. And he said for Mr. Abure to continue with that convention, he has even made it more easier for consultation to continue. So that consultation, even if you refuse before the convention, the conversation has started now. So that's my position. So that look, people will not come out tomorrow. You know, there are so many people out there, they like to distort.
Okay, let's bring it to 1 minute, sir.
Yeah. So anyways, so that's just what I want to say on that. But at the same time, I also address what is said emphatically, which are good things, which areas. Isn't that clear to everyone? On pension, did Mr. Peter Obi leave us hanging? He said he would do it. And he gave us example when he was governor. On constitutional reform, did he leave anybody hanging? He said he would do it. On education, he said he's not going to spend 90 billion naira on arch and 5 billion on student loan. The reverse will be the case. So there was no ambiguity there. That's what you will do as a leader, so that at the end of the day, when Mr. Obi becomes the president, the opportunity to lead the country, those are the things that we can all hold him accountable on, because he said so clearly. So these are my position. On electoral reform, he said it clearly that he doesn't know, he's looking for suggestion, because it's very clear. What are we going to do about it? Because the obvious question for him is there. Very obvious question, which is that, look, Mr. Peter Obi, are you going to embark on this 2027 knowing fully well what happened in 2023 without dealing with it, all of them, each and every one of them, or to a very large extent, most of them? He knew that is the question that will come, whether he likes it or not, and he dealt with it in a very appropriate way. All of us, those that are now, leaders or stakeholders of the Labour Party obedient movement, these are the things that we should focus on. This thing must be dealt with, whether we like it or not, because you cannot go into an election. And then finally, please, I will just say this again. On the Edo election, again, Mr. Peter Obi said clearly today, he supports Akpata. Yes, and there are videos out there today where I think he met with him yesterday or the other day. Fine. He said so. But I have a question on that. These are the things. See, whether you like it or not, we are all going to be here now. It's going to be the social media content story. Wait. Just wait, it will come. They will use it against Labour Party. Even Abure himself will use it.
Jonathan, just a real question on the Edo thing.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's too late already because the primary has already been concluded?
That's what I'm giving to Mr. Peter Obi. Perhaps I just want to assume it could be costly, but the only assumption I can make now is that probably for Mr. Peter Obi it's too late. So the process has to continue. But when you look at the optics, supporting Akpata, denouncing Abure, when the emergence of Akpata is exactly what Abure did at the national level, maybe somebody will tell us what are the discrepancies there, or if everything is normal. Because what we don't know of any in Edo State, we don't know of any ward congresses that was held. We don't know of any local government congresses that was held. That at the end of the day, they now converge together at the state level, all the delegates, and then Akpata emerge. We don't know. We all know that. So don't let us flip-flop on this matter. We know there was none in Edo State. That was why Philip Shuaib called people to his house and conduct an election, and he's saying that these are the people from the ward, from the local government. These are the real delegates. There was none of such of Labour Party. Recall, during this period that Labour Party should be having ward and local government congresses, Abure was fighting for his life. That was the time he was being, accused of fraud and all over the place. There was no time for all of this. And all of a sudden, a candidate just emerged. And it is exactly the same thing. So don't let us flip-flop on this matter. Let us say it the way it is. I'm not saying that supporting Akpata at the end of the day is a wrong thing to do. Perhaps the die is cast and the candidate has emerged. So, but they have to look for a way to remedy this. But make no mistake about it, Abure will fight this on that same ground. He will fight it, and we'll all be here to talk about it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Mr. Give us a mandate. Thank you very much.
I think to Nigeria can go.
All right, then. Thank you. The dollar issue. I think it's obvious now that we have to discourage the use of the dollar. And I think the government coming out to say what they said last week was a good thing. Whether Nigerians listen to them and decide to delay, out of every $100 they wanted to spend, they spent 99. If they did that, overall, you could see that 1% is something to start seeing some kind of momentum change. And also they went after the Bureau de change, from what I gathered too. Why they did these things, I don't think they are doing it for themselves, as Jonathan said, because they never really, if they care for themselves, they want to be like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, the Rockefellers, Rothschild, all these people that really have true power and money. These people are just random people looking for money any way they can and running the country to the ground any way they can. They are not there to serve us. They are there to serve this thing, whoever their true master is. Because if you think they are serving themselves, if they are such mumus that they think they are serving themselves, they are real fools then. Because what they are serving is the interest of other people. Because while we are this vulnerable, other people are capitalizing on it to enrich themselves immensely. They are capitalizing on our launch to make themselves even more powerful. That's why they control our region. If Nigeria was controlling the region as a self-respecting nation should be doing, Nigeria is going to be extremely rich. Nigeria is one of those countries that has a multiplier effect, where if we did something right, the gains that we'll make will be more than the effort we put in. Because Nigeria is the most populated country on the continent. So that should be one of the magnetic spots for anybody that wants to invest on the continent. And because it's the most populated country, it's also the most powerful in the region, which also should attract more people in there. So, and because of the numbers, you can output even more goods that you can sell for profit. The power Nigeria has in in West Africa and maybe even in Africa, it surpasses what Germany has in Europe. And Germany is by far the biggest economy in Europe and dominates in terms of economically. So Nigeria, these leaders are not doing anything to benefit themselves. Except they don't know what benefiting themselves truly means. So their level of mumu, it has level. I think they say we should not be insulting them. Let's not insult them. But the way they mismanage the economy is just terrible. Because it's obvious what they needed to do. The biggest enemy of any economy is instability, because it doesn't let businesses plan. And if businesses can't plan, they can't invest. And if they can't invest, guess what? More instability. And this government, they've not done anything to stabilize the economy. So if they are just reducing the price of the dollar so that they can be able to buy it, and then buy it for what again? Cheaper. Then you get it overseas. Maybe, I guess, you can buy it and you spend it overseas for your children and your side chicks, whatever. But I don't think that's the purpose. The purpose is just to keep Nigeria on its toes all the time, trying to balance itself. A country that should be one of the most stable, they are just keeping us unsteady all the time. And that is the true enemy. Even if the dollar is $1 to 3,000 naira, as long as it's stable, businesses will plan for it and make allowances for it. Everybody will adapt to it. The problem is that it is moving all the time. There's instability, then it's inflation, all that stuff just kicks in, and it just creates this unpredictable environment. There are people in Nigeria that wanted to sell properties that if they sold it last year or last 2 years, the property will be worth like £50,000. They wanted to sell it this year, that when it's worth about £25,000. So it tells you that is the reason why they want to sell it, because they are worried. The system is so unstable that they are worried that by the time they are done, by the time when you want to sell their property, when they want to sell their property, they are going to be selling for £10,000. So, and this government should have known that. They should have known that the instability is the biggest problem, and just introducing instability into the economy the moment they moved in was a terrible idea. They could have just introduced slight instability by removing the fuel subsidies, and hold off on anything, on any kind of monetary change, like as they are doing right now. And then when a situation has stabilized, then you can incrementally change the monetary system. But it's like our leaders, they don't understand incremental change. They don't understand that the instability is the worst enemy of the economy. And then if you want to discourage people further from using the dollar, you slap tariff on all the nonsense goods that we don't need. Like all these toothpicks and notebooks and uniform and all that nonsense that we don't need in Nigeria. Slap tariff on it, so that when they pay for the tariff to bring the stuff in, you use that to subsidize the local manufacturers. All this money that
Naija, are you related? Are you related to Indian men of Uganda? Are you related to him?
Why should I be related to you?
Jesus Christ.
I don't have to be related to it. It's common sense. If you can't import anything into your country that is not leading to the development of the country, especially at this stage that we are in, if you are importing toothpick that is not good for the economy, when local manufacturers can make toothpicks, stop it from coming in or put tariff on it, so that when they bring it in, use that to subsidize your local manufacturers, so that they too can manufacture toothpick and be competitive. Tomorrow, they will be the ones selling toothpick to China. That is what you want. And you would think these our leaders understood this. I really bet to think that they do, because I know I'm not a thorough expert on economic, but it's because it's just common sense. But they refuse to do it because they are not serving us. I've said this before. They are serving their own masters. This international, so-called international community that they like to call themselves. They are the ones they are serving. They are not there to serve us. The reason why the French, this Senegalese leader is making the speech that he made, he actually said America too. He mentioned America, he mentioned the UK and France. Because he said all these people, they are not there to help us. They are competitors. We have to recognize that if we don't help ourselves, these people are just going to be there helping us ruin ourselves. It's not their job to help us. They are doing what they are doing for their people. We are not doing what we are supposed to be doing for our own people. It's common sense. I gave this example before. If you are running a household, you have 100 dollars in your possession, and you have 1,000 naira. You don't say, oh, your children should go and place order for $1,000 worth of items when you know you have only $100. You should be saying, hey, little ones, don't spend money on the dollars anymore. Use your naira to go and buy stuff because we don't have a lot of this in dollars. That is what you are supposed to do. But the Nigerian government, because when you do that, what is going to happen is that because the demand now for the dollar increases, your own naira value completely becomes nonsense. Because that dollar that your children is in need of, they have to now take the naira, convert it, and then they have to buy the dollar at a higher price. And it makes your own naira meaningless. That's common sense thing. Our leaders couldn't even do that. It's like, do you have to tell your own? Does anybody have to tell any grown person how to care for their children? Even the bad parents know that, this is still my child. You know, they still defend their child's interest. Somebody's coming to beat their child, they will defend their child. But our leaders are not like that. They will leave us to the vices of every other people to come and take advantage of us as much as they like. And there's a point that Jonathan made that I'd like to highlight when he said our leaders are very vague. They are deliberately so. They omit a lot of things from our people. They don't tell our people the truth. All the countries around the world today in Europe, if you look at them, they are all defending themselves against another nation. They are all, even Poland is talking about war today. Sweden is talking about joining NATO because they want to prepare for war. Against who? The Soviets. And everybody who is our leader telling us that is our enemy. How can you be this poor and you don't think you have people that don't like you? Hey, God. If everybody loves us, why are we this poor? Why are we this poor? Who is keeping all our money our leaders are stealing? Who is allowing them to come there and stay? Because they are gaining from us. Why? It's not their job to help us. It's our job to help ourselves. I say, discourage people from you bringing spending the dollars, and it's easy. As a matter of fact, you can make the Nigerian currency appreciate strongly if you want to. But personally, I will go for stability, discourage the people from using the dollar, and the economy will start changing. And for me, you all know me, I'll go for security. Make sure that $50 billion that we are losing in GDP every year, we don't lose it anymore. Can you imagine if you are losing $50 billion in GDP every year? The next year you're losing. The next year after you're still losing. Yes?
You know, when we keep talking about the currency rising, we keep talking about dollar, 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 dollar. It is not only dollar that is rising, that is having a problem. Even the safer is beating the Nigerian currency.
No. I
The
think
Nigerian currency.
I think the dollar is just a marker, because if you fall against the dollar, you
No, but all the currencies, because when we keep talking, it's as if it's only the dollar. You know, the pounds, the sefa, all are beating Nigeria mercilessly.
No, I agree with
You
you.
know,
I agree with you on that. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think I agree with you. I think when they use dollar is almost like the international currency, so people just use it to measure. If your currency is falling against the dollar, it's definitely falling against all the others, because the other ones are also stable. So they are all maintaining the same level, just like the dollar is maintaining the same level, while ours is depreciating. Hence, ours is depreciating against the safers and everything else. So the reason why we mention the dollars is because the dollar is the currency that our leaders tend to go for when they choose a currency. And it's very, very easy. Let me say this again. It's really, really easy to control the currency depreciation. Our leaders chose not to. Until last week. That's when they even. Why do you think they came out? I've been talking about this. Anybody that has heard me, I've been talking about it months ago. I said, why do you think they came out to say it? Because they know. This is something that it's like I didn't even invent it. The South Korean leader in 1962 or so, he came into office. One of the first things he did was stop buying foreign stuff, buy only locally made goods, and he supported. I think was it Samsung. Today, where is Samsung? Samsung is one of the biggest companies in the world. You have to support your locally developed goods. That is why you have Samsung phones everywhere from a tiny country like that. Why is Nigeria not? If Nigeria promotes its businesses,
So
Nigeria
Naija,
promotes
please
its
bring it to me
manufactured
1
goods,
minute, sir.
we are going to
In
be
1 minute.
extremely rich. Yeah, let me round up.
Okay, thank you.
We are going to be extremely rich if we just promote ourselves. First thing first, obviously, you have to secure the country first. Then promote yourself, promote your manufacturers. Nigeria will be so rich, Nigerians will not even care about touching any country overseas. Africa is massive. If we wanted to explore anything we want in the world, you can exploit in Africa. We will not travel overseas anymore. People will be rushing to Nigeria. There's no reason why we can't do that. But it's just these leaders are blocking our progress. Really, they are basically enemies of progress. They are the typical enemies of progress of our people. They are blocking us from from enjoying this world the way God has given us the right to. Really, God has
Time up,
given us
sir.
everything we need. So thank you. This thing give us a mandate. I know I spoke for a bit. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone.
Give us, give us a mandate.
Go ahead, sir. Go
Give
ahead.
us a mandate. Yeah, please, if you permit me just a minute or two,
Go ahead, sir.
uh, I want to say something, and it's just for this platform, so that the point being made on the dollar, I want it to, I want people to understand it perfectly well, and I will give an example, real life example, for the purpose of discussion and for the benefit of our understanding. I will give a real life example. You know that the interest rate in Nigeria was 22%. A week ago, they jumped it to 24%, thereabout. In January, in January this year, a group that I know put in $250,000, sent $250,000 US dollars to Nigeria, converted it at 1,515 naira. 1,515 naira. It comes to 378,750,000. And they put it, let me just say it in a joking manner. They give it to Cardozo. That is, give it to Nigeria, like invest and buy their bond there in January, end of January or thereabout, Now, and that's 22% for. So the money now comes to 462. If you had the 22% to it, the money now comes to 462,075,000 naira. That is their money that they will get back from Nigeria. Now, they will do it now at $1,200. 1,000. So that is if the dollar continue to drop. So let's take $1,200. The original $250,000 becomes $385,000. So that is what they are doing. I don't know if you people can grab it, grasp it or not, but that is what they are doing. So it is lucrative. So they will continue to do this. They will continue to hammer this, so that people in the diaspora will be bringing their dollar, and they will continue to drop the dollar. But more importantly, it is the stolen naira that they are putting into this. So it gives them the incentive not to take the stolen naira out of Nigeria. So they give their stolen naira back to the CBN, so that they can collect this 22%, now 24%, and now so that when they are converting it to dollar, then you know what I'm talking about. So that is the game they are playing right now. Please, there is no any other game. That is the pure game. So there are Nigerians outside that are ready to bring in their dollar, their pounds, their yen, and their euro, convert it. But there is a risk, and that risk is dangerous, because they can, at the end of the day, they can throw everybody under the bus. That is, if the dollar bounce back to 1,800, you will think you want to make money, but at the end of the day, you will lose money. But again, it's business, and a businessman will take the risk, and he will go to anywhere where he knows there is opportunity for a better return. So that's where the money is coming from now. So they are not doing anything. The dollar we're seeing coming, I just want to emphasize that it's not that they are doing anything special. That's just the in a nutshell. Thank you very much for giving me the time to explain this. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jonathan. So what you just explained now, I think I was on that call when Cardoso was talking to people, and then Nigerians. Yeah, obviously, just absolutely right. Well, like you said, so it's just like this money scheme that you get Nigeria back there, where you put your money and then they give you, they tell you to invest this amount of money, and then in the long run they get this amount of money. You know, after a while, that thing, that thing, they scam Nigerians. So that's basically what they are doing now. And like you said, Nigerians need to pay attention and be careful because these guys, what they cannot do, what they cannot fake, I've never seen before. I've never seen it with this government. Nothing. They are all clueless. They are all clueless. Monetary policy is not. They can't do it. Fiscal policy, nothing. So what then? And like Tulaja was saying, we don't have leaders. These are rulers. These are rulers. These are not leaders. It is just for them, their family, their surrogates, child side chicks. How the country will get better? No. Now imagine what you just explained, Mr. Jonathan. Stolen money. So I will now bring my own legitimate dollar. And one thing they are trying to do is that money, they stole that money. Nigerians bringing their dollars. Instead of them taking their money back to their money to foreign country, they want to exchange it in Nigeria and then do what they want to do with it. The country is I don't know. I don't know how things get better. If I was actually opportunity to ask Mr. Peter Obi any question, I think the about that answer question. Are we even sure of 2027? Because the way the country is right now, nothing is guaranteed. I've never seen a country where criminals are their leader and they do anything good for the country. For me, 2027 is not guaranteed because these guys will do everything possible to remain in power. These guys will do. It will take Nigerians to act like Senegals, like the Senegalese, to be able to get their country back. These guys in power right now, they will do anything possible to remain in power. What did they do in the last election? 88 people were pied in the last election. 19 years ago were pied himself. You think they will not do more in 2027? We better be killing ourselves. Until Nigerians arise and take their country back, I don't know. Mr. Elvis, I will pass it on to you. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful night.
Mr. Elvis, I don't think Mr. Elvis is still there.
Okay, maybe I think maybe he left
Yes,
the for us.
I think Mr. Elvis is back. Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. I was on the backstage listening to you guys.
Okay.
Do you guys want us to end the show now then? Or you want to continue?
I mean, basically, we went on everybody except for Mr.
Yeah. Mr. Elvis, I will prefer that. I don't know what other panelists.
You know something that infuriated me? Let me say something that infuriated me recently. I just saw, I think in one of these, I think it was Kaduna actually, but where they took
5 minutes, let's round up. Thank you.
Yeah, the people that they kidnapped and that building, and they were putting the list of, I think, leaders of Nigeria there, and they went further back and put Oyibo people there too. I was like, did we not get independence as free people? Why are you putting Oyibo people as our head of state too on the list of our head? That's what you are seeing there. Is that continuation I'm talking about, from the colonizers to the people that they handed power over to. That's why we are being governed like this. We have never severed that tie. And when I saw it, I said, that's just emblematic of everything, because that person that put that thing up in that wall should have known that you don't include that person as head of state of Nigeria. It's like America now. They don't include the Queen, the King of England as their head of states. They don't do that. But our people do that. And that is something we have to learn, that our leadership and our elite class, they've not severed the tie between our people and the colonizers. Many of them still refer to them as colonial masters. This is the man. I can't even start talking. And whenever I say something, some people, they already call me India me today. It's like we have to reclaim ourselves. We are an independent, sovereign people. We've been in this world even longer than the people that we some of our people are serving. Jesus Christ. Okay, but thank you. That sort of just infuriated me, and when I saw it, I was like, there you go. That's why we have problems.
To Nigeria, I think
What happened to his audio? Okay, so yeah, when I say that we should put some tariff on things that Nigerians can manufacture, what I'm basically doing there is encourage so that our manufacturers can have space to operate. If people keep getting cheap Chinese goods coming to the country all the time, how are we supposed to start manufacturing things? How are we supposed to start building expertise?
But that's
Ha-
it. You can only do
that,
that. You can only do
can you
that.
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you
That,
now.
that, 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 that was a good submission, honestly, because the only way to discourage all of these things, ordinary toothpicks we have to import, is by it was in our economics and secondary school economics. You put
See,
tariff
see,
on them to discourage them.
Give,
see,
give
see,
us our mandate. Give us our
Tunaiga.
mandate.
See, let me say this.
Wait a minute. When you put more tariff, it goes back to the consumers. You are not
Yes.
doing the importer. It's going back to the consumers that is gonna buy high.
You only see,
That's what I'm saying.
you can
If
do
it goes to
that.
the consumer, but
Let me tell
guess
you,
what?
this
The
is
local
it.
people can start manufacturing it.
Is
That's
a
the
no
problem.
Tunaiga, see, is a good that's the simple economics. That's just how it works. However, it must be on those products that Nigeria is already producing massively so that you encourage those people. Because if those products are not being manufactured or produced in Nigeria, you just slash tariffs on it, the importers, right, they will bring it in anyway. And what the last speaker was saying is a fact. They will just, return it back to the consumer. But if it is something that the country is already producing, not anticipating to produce, that is why if you now or myself now, we go to Nigeria and we say, okay, I want to start producing milk. I want to start producing or manufacturing, and I set it up massively. Nigerian government, that is the time we can now start asking the Nigerian government to put massive tariff on those that are still importing milk to Nigeria to encourage you and I. But
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. No,
until
no,
that time,
the time is there. The reason why I say the time is there, because there are things inherently Nigerians should be able to manufacture. Things that are not
Well,
of high engineering, high technical know-how. We can manufacture those things. There's no reason to be importing them because we are losing foreign exchange
you know
by
why?
doing that.
You know
the,
why?
the
When you
thing is
talk of
that,
high manufacturing stuff, that is where you now talk of the Ajaokuta steel. The Ajaokuta,
yeah,
not
exactly.
the
The thing
Ajaokuta
is that
steel. If
before we keep talking about all these manufacturing here and there, see the people at the helm of affairs, they must be ready to lead by example. It's a very simple thing. Nigerians, we are very easy to govern. If at the level of the presidency, they can come up with a policy that everything that is being used by those people in power should be things that are manufactured in Nigeria, not just manufactured now. For example, those cars that they bought for themselves, they should be indigenous company. Also, if they talk about education, none of their children should go abroad for education or treatment. You will see the effect, the massive turnaround effect that we have on infrastructures in the country. Because in these Western countries, their children, the children of those people in power, they use public schools. If you must use private school, it comes at your own expenses. And why do you even want to use private school? If you are using private school, that's almost an assurance that you are losing the election because you are not associating with the people on the street. So if they start the examples from themselves, all these other things we are talking about, they will just naturally follow. Even if they increase this tariff that we are talking about, don't forget there are hoodlums at the border, at the custom, at the port, every entrance to the country. These people, they will also have a way of allowing illegal things to come into the country. And at the end of the day, They just mess up everything. So
Those
if we
those
have
are
leaders,
downstream problems. Those are
if
downstream problems. I
yeah,
agree
if
with
we have
you.
leaders that love the country enough, that are patriotic enough, that will say, "Go to hell, you Western world," I think Nigeria will move faster than we all anticipate. Just like you said to Nigeria earlier on, we should be a regional power. By now, Nigeria, people from the northern, like Benue, Plateau, and the rest, those people should produce enough food that can feed the whole Africa. You know, so we should play more role in in this continent, in this our African continent. But we are just there docile because we have fools. We
If you
have
look at
fools. We
Central
have
African Republic, that is just a nation away from Cameroon, that nation has massive land, very few people on it. If Nigeria was pulling its weight, we could own most of that land there and farm it. And Nigeria, see the potential of Nigeria. People don't understand how what these leaders are doing to us. They are literally tying our eyes so we don't see what our potential. We have so much potential that these people have tied our eyes so we don't see, and we really need to start challenging them on all these things. This is why I was saying we need to start having one voice, target one thing, sort it out, target another one, and before in the next 4 years, people that think that Tinubu is inevitable, you'll be surprised. He will look like an outdated leader if you change people's mind and push for these things. Nigerians, we have all the potential to be extremely rich, but we just have to be ready to do the hard work that it takes to push these leaders away, because these are our leaders. They're not believing like our leaders. All of them are seeing themselves as extension of colonizers. Chris, you saw this speech that Senegalese leader made. You know how he talked about how they recruit their leaders into the Freemasons and all those things. This is how they inculcate our leaders into as seeing themselves as an extension of the colonizers, instead of them to
of
be
course.
seeing themselves as independent people. And this
Yeah,
is a
but
trap our people
it's
are in, and our
difficult.
people don't even know it.
It's difficult because you see that young guy that was talking, he doesn't have anything to hide. He doesn't like most of these our leaders, they have all their businesses, all the wealth they've stolen. They have all their criminal records with this Western world. That's why the West can use them as puppets.
Mm-hmm.
So every day we all should be crying that we missed out on Peter Obi, because if His Excellency Peter Obi had come to power, they have nothing to use against him. Because if you look at these other leaders that they are controlling up, like Paul Biya in Cameroon, Museveni, these old cowards
What
that they
is
have in
crying now
power,
that you missed out on Obi going to solve? Cry for security, cry for power supply, cry for control of use of dollars in your country, and watch your country change. Those three things alone, you will see your country transform, and people will be rushing from overseas into the country. We have 20 million Nigerians overseas.
yeah, like
20 million.
you see that Central African Republic that you just mentioned of, we were Nigeria was already doing that, but in another form. You must have heard of Technical Aid Corps, where we send graduates to all over the world, especially African and the
Yeah, yeah.
Caribbean. We send
Introduced by
graduates to those
Babangida.
countries. Yeah, 2 years. And if Nigerians go to those places, they treat us just like we treat these white people if they come to Africa.
Exactly.
The kind of respect they see us as expatriates. If you
Mm,
cough, they are running up and down.
you know.
So I just like Bujumbura. I know Bujumbura, that's Burundi, very well.
I think
Because I was part of
this guy
yeah,
is
I
saying
was
that we
part
should
of this
fight
technical
corruption.
aid course somehow. And when
Yeah,
you step your foot there, they take you as I don't know how to even put it.
they
And you
look
can
up
see
to
the
us.
kind
It's
of
crazy.
power.
Personally, I even find it weird how they look up to
Okay,
Nigeria. It's really
okay, to
strange.
Nigeria, you know you are somehow. It appears you are very close to these people. Can't you suggest to them that look, this we can
That Chris.
You
yeah,
think I've not told them? I've told them, stop looking up to Nigeria. Fight for yourselves.
Tunaja,
wait now.
Tunaja.
Let me make my point.
What do
Let
you
me
mean
make
I
my
can't?
point.
I
You
know
Nigeria,
I'm not taking words from you guys' mouth. Do you know that journalist that kind of like that exposed those smuggling thing, the customs and the smugglers, whatever rackets?
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He's now being declared by wanted by the Nigerian police.
For
yeah.
See
what now?
how
On what ground
crazy
now?
Nigeria.
On what ground?
Well,
To Nigeria,
that's what I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing it right now.
to Nigeria.
You
Let's
know.
assume that you are close to
Please send
them.
a link.
You see this point you just raised. I was speaking with somebody from Cameroon. And the lady told me that they in Cameroon, they cultivate plantain, banana, and they take all those things to Central African Republic to go and sell.
Hmm.
And they sell them at very expensive price because those guys they don't just have the technical know-how. So if you can talk to this government, imagine they just recruit graduates, maybe 50-50 from every department of agriculture, just like the Chinese are doing, sending their people all over Africa, colonizing everywhere. We send people to
Hmm.
these countries, establish huge funds for them. These funds they are stealing up and down. We use it to establish funds for them. Then from there, we begin to establish the presence that we ought to have established
Can
from
you
the
imagine
beginning.
how rich
I don't
Nigerian
know if
rich
you
men
can
would have?
take this
No,
message to your
Chris,
friends in
Chris,
power.
why do you keep saying
You just send.
that? I wish I was close to them.
See,
See, if I was
sometimes,
close to them, Nigeria would have transformed by now.
see,
If
some,
Can you imagine what you said just now?
I
They were
think,
able
I
to do it
think,
in Nigeria.
do
The
Nigeria, I
rich people in
think
Nigeria would have been a lot richer if they had done it. But they are not doing it. Why? Because they are depriving themselves of being richer. Can you imagine if they go to Central African Republic, dominate it, farm it, and do you know how rich someone like Dangote could get from imposing using that kind of power than Nigeria? But to do all those things, you need to be a strong nation. You need to be able to project
But
power.
we are,
see,
we are already strong nations. These people, they already fear us.
they are,
I'm
No,
telling
they
you about
don't.
my
You know,
parents in
they
Burundi. They
fear
fear
us.
us already.
It's like measuring height among dwarfs. They fear us, but they also see the giants in the world that we are not competing with at all. Even
see,
Vietnam will come there, we are going to shake.
the average Nigerian politician is used to cheap money. And most of the time we always believe that they know, but many at times these people are ignorant. They don't know. So when you talk to Nigeria, when you talk about the colonial people taking advantage of us, we also have opportunity now, or opportunities in fact, to take advantage of them. They have been taking our resources to their country, to their various countries for decades. We now have opportunity to start taking their own resources and bring it back as well. But unfortunately, our average Nigerian politicians, I used to think before that they know. But see, many of them, how will Okada guy who became a house member all of a sudden knows all these things? So sometimes most of them don't know. Another example, take for example, Soludo, the governor of Anambra State. For me, 2 years ago when he became governor, I was thinking that this is somebody who was once the central bank governor of Nigeria, who has negotiated, sat on the same table, one on one, with World Bank officials, with IMF officials, with Paris Club officials, and that he will know the inside out of these things, how to take their resources and bring it back. So I come to a conclusion that sometimes they don't know. These people are just, some of them are just bookworms. They are theoretical people. That is it. They are not smart, to the point, or as the way that we think they are. If not, why would somebody like that you have been at that position, that you will not know one on one how to bring the resources of these people back in? It still baffles me. So the
I think
logical
you have a
conclusion is
point.
that perhaps they don't know. They
I, I,
just don't know.
I think you have a point that many of them don't know. Um, I I still believe among our elite class or political class, at least the top 2 to 5% do know these things. Like people like Tinubu do, they do know. People like the central bank head, they do understand these things. And
Tinubu don't know. How will a drug
see,
baron know? The man who
see,
spent all his
because
time,
because
siphoning
fella
and
because fella went to America, came back, and his eyes were open. You can't live in America for so long and pretend as if you don't know the dynamics of the world, what is going on. America is very raw, and it shows you the true face of the world to an extent. It's like somebody going to Nigeria and not understanding Nigeria, going to Lagos and not understand Nigeria. It's very hard. If you go to Lagos, you have an idea what Nigeria is like, and that is how America is in terms of the world. If you go to America, you don't know the world. I don't think anything else will teach you anything. That's why I think some of them do know. I agree with you. A lot of them, like, they are called a guy that won, and a lot of educated people don't even know, because you hear if somebody goes on TV and some of them even travel overseas, they come on TV and call Oyibo people colonial masters. the moment you do that, it says your awareness is so reduced that you don't even understand the consequence of the words you use, that you don't know what it means, because they themselves don't call themselves that. Like if you hear a young British person standing there and watching a black man calling them his own ancestors masters, do you know how it makes him feel? They feel uncomfortable actually. Like, who are these people? Are they this backward? It's like, why are they not in the 2004, 2024? They acting as if they live in the 1960s still. And that is a strange thing. And the reason why that is possible, because our leaders keep us asleep. That leader now in Senegal, because of the way he sounds about the French now, tomorrow nobody's going to be calling the French. Before you know it, within a couple of months and years in that country, people are not going to be seeing the French like, oh, some kind of colonial masters and all kinds of stuff anymore. They're going to be seeing them, oh, these are rivals. There are people that have been doing us down, and
No, no.
for better or for worse, they are not
Even with his
they are not there
speech,
for us.
even with that speech, he already demystified them. It's just for the people to
Exactly.
take it off from there. He already he told them off, and I was very glad when he now included U.S., China, and
Yeah,
Russia.
he slapped all of them. He didn't even exclude anybody from China,
And
Russia, all of them. He slapped all of
he
them in
made
there.
it clear to them that he is willing to work with them, but on a different term. He's not
Exactly. That is the
isolating himself.
attitude you need. That's the attitude you need.
That is a leader. Come on.
And then we watch this space, and let's hope he does it, because our leaders, like the Ghanaian leader, they will talk all tough and everything. The next thing you just find out that they are busy selling their own brothers out again. You know, some of them, I don't know why they bribe them or they threaten them or whatever.
You know, the Ghanaian leader, I was talking about cocoa and all those stuff, slamming the sweets. And all
Yeah.
of a sudden, just under 1 month, he had a 360 turnaround.
And he's canceling speech that
After
P2B
all
wanted
the
to go
big
and make
drama.
in his country.
Shameful.
It's really, really, I think part of the problem, you see, this reminds me of that journalist, Prince just mentioned that the police are looking for. That journalist came online. One of the things he said was that some Nigerians, he didn't mention them, he said some Nigerians volunteered to protect him because of the work he is doing. Why? Because they understood that for people like this to be able to operate, somebody needs to keep them alive. Security is very, very important, and that's what he said. And that is why, in like that Senegalese leader, if he is going to succeed, we all have to support him, and any way we can, anything we do, we can do our best to support him, because the more you have support, the harder it is for people to take you out. The more likely you are protected.
I
And
hope I hope
yeah,
that guy will not japa out of Nigeria.
who?
The journalist, that investigative guy, I did that piece on
Yeah, I hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't.
Nigerian customs, because Nigeria is not a normal country where the guy, even if he surrenders himself to the authorities, where they will give him free and fair hearing, they will just want to show power on him, and
Yeah, but at times,
I think the
I
gravest mistake most
think we
Nigerians make. Let me
ascribe too
just make
much
this.
power to these leaders.
Chris, let me just make this point. Sorry about that. I think one of the gravest mistakes Nigerians make, if you want to do activism, is to separate yourself too far from the security forces. And I think I understand why we do that, because like I said, most of our leadership seems to have this colonial mentality, and our security forces seems to have this bloody civilian doctrine. That said, if you want to take over that country, you have to form alliances with them one way or the other, because there are always some of them that are like you. Just because the fact that you exist in the civil society doesn't mean they don't. People with those sort of heart don't exist in the military or the security forces, police, and all the rest. They exist. You just have to find them, establish links within them. Because when you do that, when this type of stuff happens, they are the ones that will be telling you what to do. They are the ones that will say, "I'm here. Nobody's going to touch you." All those other things, they are the one that will protect you. I've seen that happen in many nations, that people emerge and take over the country. I even believe that this Senegalese one is probably similar too, because it was very easy for them to come out of prison and take over the country. If the military was against them, they wouldn't be able to do that.
The issue is that, you see, Nigeria is absolutely, again, I said absolutely not a normal country in any sphere at all. The country is not normal. Nigeria is not normal. If someone now, yes, fine, like activists can stay on, fight, for the country, fighting what they believe in. But the way they will be handled in Nigeria, Nelson Mandela in South Africa will be a child's play. At least we all know the case of Nnamdi Kanu that is still ongoing now. It's not a normal country. See, today's session with Mr. Peter Obi, one guy came up with a very profound question, and Mr. Peter Obi agreed that yes, that is a good question. The guy was talking about the agro-allied agricultural sector, that there are people that are ready to come in with massive investment into the country, and then they will start developing the agricultural sector, and within a short time, Nigeria will get out of this mess. And Peter Obi's response was that, yeah, that's a good way. It's one of the good ways that he agreed with him, but that Nigeria is not normal. That even, and his example he gave example that everybody can relate with. He said, on social media, they fight you. They are trying to distort you on social media because you are doing good. These are the people. Now, when you now bring it to them, he said, for the simple fact that you are trying to prove that what they could not do, that you can do it. Except for that alone, they will fight you because you are proving to them that, see, I can do it, but you can't do it. So they will fight you. They will not allow you to do it. So it's not that happens in a country that is not normal. The only way is if you have the power, then you can get things done.
From my example, from what I see, the way Nigerians, like I was in Nigeria too when Abiola's election was cancelled, and I was one of those people that was against it. As a matter of fact, I think that probably opened my eyes to politics to an extent. I was one of the people that hated this Abacha for what he did, but the way we fought it was from the outside. We never saw the institutions as our institution. And I think that is one area. I think it would be nice to see a leader that emerges and has a very close knit and tie to this institution, because if you have it, you can wield it to change things for the good for the country. You can do things that normal people cannot do. Like if you look at Aerofy now, some of the things Aerofy can do, not a lot of people can do it. And I don't think it's based on being Islamic. I think that guy has links with the security forces, and maybe that's why they don't even want him inside the government right now, because he seems to be more hawkish in terms of security than the current government. And Kwankwaso, the same thing. Kwankwaso was the one that saved, what's his name, Buhari's life. He gave Buhari a bulletproof vehicle, and when they attacked Buhari, that car was the one that prevented him from dying, while everybody around the car died. So there are some people that are they are politicians, but they are more than politicians. They have links that gives them extra power, and this is why, that's kind of thing. The people that oppose government, like people like what's his name, Shawari, or someone like P2B. If you oppose the state in terms of the APC, you want to also have strong links inside all the other institutions too.
To Nigeria, it's you on this platform. I don't know whether you propagate that on other platforms, but on this platform, you always say that if we fight the government, if we tell them or we come out that we don't agree with what they are doing, that they listen at the end of the day, that they do listen. Yes, that's even from outside. We can fight them, especially those of us that are in diaspora. We have a weapon. See, all these things we're doing, we have a way that we can handle it in 6 months or in 1 year. Nigerian government will begin to listen to diasporans. In fact, you will see that Mr. Tinubu and his economic team will come to Washington or to London to come and sit with diasporans, or he will send his CBN governor or his finance minister to come and start talking with Nigerians. But we are not using the weapon that we have. Nigeria economy right now is surviving pretty much on diaspora remittances. If we can use it, it's a weapon that we have, and we continue to give them to use it against
us. They don't care.
No, it is.
You are acting as if you take the money from Nigeria, the politicians care.
No. Like this one they care. This one, see, this
so if
one
you don't send the money to Nigeria,
yes. If there is a way you can use it, it's what you have.
But that
it's like the labor union. See, it's like the labor union. What's one of the weapons that they have? Strike. They don't have anything other than that. You use what you have.
See, what you are doing is doing exactly the kind of mistake that someone Epa made, asking people to sit at home. Oh, sit at home is going to pepper those politicians that don't care anything about you. How does that? They will be like, you don't want to send money to your people that are suffering that we didn't even care about in the first place. Fine then, let's carry on in that game.
But what you are sending it on, they don't use it for the people that you care about.
Exactly. So how are you going to deter them by not sending the money to those people?
See, this is dollar we're talking about. This is dollar we're talking about. It's a different ball game. That's all the Nigerian politician knows and cares about.
No, they are getting it from the oil and the thing that they are stealing.
See, they are augmenting. They are augmenting our money.
You are not sending money to the politician. You are sending it to your family members.
No. You don't get it. That means you don't know how economic works.
No, I do. To an extent, I do.
When you send, let me tell you, when you send your £100 to Nigeria,
when you send that money, it benefits the economy, and they steal from that economy. That's what Mr. Jonathan is saying.
No, the thing you are missing is that the steps that they are stealing from the economy is not from that.
Listen, if you send your £100, you will use it. Let's just break it down. You are in UK and you decide to send £100 to a loved one in Nigeria, and then your family member or your friend or relative, whoever, receive the £100. That £100, when it gets to Nigeria, right, is your family member will get naira. That's what they did now.
Yes,
they will make sure that it doesn't get the pound.
Yes.
Now, the remittance company that you use here will have to wire that 100 to Nigeria, which goes to CBN.
Yes.
So that's just the elementary thing of it. So that your £100 eventually end up in CBN covers.
Yes.
But they can print naira to give to your family member. So they need that pound, they need that dollar in their hundreds of thousands and millions. So that's what they are doing. So imagine now.
Let me explain to you why the remittance don't affect them too much, because that money you're talking about, yes, it's good for the country, but if it's not there, the country will just be poorer for it. But their wealth, their main wealth, where their real money is coming from, is the oil, the natural resources, and all those things that they are stealing from the country. Because when they sell those, they sell them in dollars.
See,
and they get the currency, and they will just steal it.
See, you see those ones that you are talking about is no longer there as you thought it is. It is not. The one they are really there, it's not there.
About $30 billion, and
that 30
not to
billion.
mention gold and all the lithium and everything else.
What you are reading, if they tell you that, okay, now diaspora remittance is more than what they generate from oil and gas in a year. Diaspora remittance alone is more than what the country is making from oil and gas. What is there anything to have to understand in that?
I think it's about similar amount. There was a time it was even oil and gas.
Peter Obi said today. I mean, it's on record. It's on record. What you said from here back home. What are you saying? I don't understand.
You are not understanding what I'm saying. The remittance that is coming to Nigeria, they are not that different from the actual total income Nigeria makes. It's because we are using it to buy petrol. That's where most of the money we lose most of our currency.
See,
but I get what you are saying, but they will not care.
What you don't understand is that, see, I like to be elementary in my explanation so that we can all be at the same page. See, if Nigeria is getting $10 billion on crude oil, 10 billion, officially on paper, 10 billion, Nigeria sold $10 billion worth of crude oil. The actual dollar that ends up in Nigeria account, either in New York, London, or end up in Nigeria, is not up to 2 billion. That's what I want you to know. They sold it fine, on paper, fine. But it is the cash is not there. Because they have mortgaged it already.
Let me just share this
with you. Even the banks in charge of your foreign reserve, they told you what is left in your foreign reserve.
I'll post something. See, I'll post something.
You keep saying about remittance in dollars, but what? Hold on, I'm just looking at the report right now that says 90% 2023 diaspora remittance didn't get to Nigeria. Did you see the politicians implode?
What are you?
No.
What are you? How?
That is this in Vanguard Nigeria. Vanguard Nigeria said didn't get 90% of it didn't get to Nigeria. This is the point I'm making. That the thing that you think they're going to miss, they're not going to miss it.
You can believe Vanguard or that you care.
You see, because you don't understand the point I am making. Hold on. Give us a mandate. The point Chris was making. The point Chris was making was regarding the exchange rate. But I'm trying to let him understand that exchange rate, they don't care. Because they barely get it. Look at that now. I'm looking at the report. Let me send it. You know what? Let me send the link to you now.
No. Okay, let me give you one. There is an app called Boss Revolution. There's an app called forget Vanguard, my brother. Forget Vanguard. But there's an app called Boss Revolution that we use here. You send money through Boss Revolution. You put it in your account, they get dollars. So how is money not getting to Nigeria?
Because if the exchange is not, if the Nigerian currency is getting to Nigeria, but the exchange rate is not getting to Nigeria, their exchange rate that you think they're going to miss doesn't even get there now. Anyway.
Okay, let me explain to you what you don't know. Please, it's not if we don't know something, on this, there's something that is as elementary as this, then one need to bring it out to you. See, the example give us Amanda gave now. If you use a platform in the US or in the UK, right, you send $100, £100. And your family member is using Zenith Bank, and your family member walks into a branch of Zenith Bank to collect the equivalent of that money in Naira. Zenith Bank gave it to him using the account of that money payment, the payment platform that you use in London or in US. They have Naira accounts in Nigeria, right? Now, Zenith Bank will request for that money back. They will give it back to them, not in Naira, in dollars. That money remittance company will wire. They will use wire transfer.
Jonathan, let me even tell you. Okay, I send money. My dad usually get dollar. He will now go and change it. That is one scenario. And what you just explain now, if it's dollar, it's just like using Western Union money transfer. They will not give them them. They'll give them dollar.
But they don't do that. They don't do that again. I don't know. Maybe some banks have started again.
Yes, exactly. They don't give the individual dollar anymore. But the bank will get dollar because they have a forex account.
That payment platform that you are using must wire that $100 to Zenith Bank. They must wire it. So that's your £100.
We can't keep going round and round. We have to take information from more authoritative people that know what they are talking about. Guardian is not going to print that stuff if it wasn't authoritative.
You have to subject. But now you are talking as some, but you are informed now. You must subject all those things to scrutiny.
The reason why I agree with it. The reason why I agree with it, I've done that same reasoning myself. I've said it before that when people send money from the UK. And then you know what
you will read. Don't go too far. Since you are the one that sat down there, and you come out with that information on Google, on internet, please go to the CBN. It's your own job now. Go to CBN and what CBN said about 2023, the total remittances, whether it matches that report.
The total remittances is 18 billion
from CBN. No. From CBN, please use CBN. Go to CBN website now. Read it. However you can get it. CBN remittances 2023 to Nigeria. Whether it matches that report.
Yeah, let's see now. Overseas remittances hit $1.3 billion in February. Okay, that's from last year. But I put 2023, so why is it? That's for this year, I mean. Let me see. Where do I find?
Let's wait there. If
weekly
1.3, listen, let's wait there now.
Can you send me the link that you're using?
Since you are the one, you can get all these things. So, let's use the current one that you are talking about.
Okay, Mr. Jonathan, let him do an exchange of that 1.7 billion that he's talking about.
So it's still not up to the money you get from
no. What you have to do,
throughout the year.
what you have to do is this, to Nigeria. 1.3 in January, right? 1.3
February.
time in February. So the same thing, probably the same thing in January. So just times it by 12 and then give a discount of 10% or 20%. So
And it still arrives at the figure I gave you. It's
no,
still
no, no.
around 18 billion.
1.3 billion times 12. How much is that? 1.3 billion times 12.
3 times 12, 3. So you're looking about 5,
No, 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 no,
15
no, no.
point
15, yeah.
6 billion, 16, 15.6 billion total.
15.6 billion. Take
Yeah.
20% out of it. Let's just say, give or take, that maybe each month is different from each other. Some month is higher, some month is lower. So take 20% out of that 16 billion that you talked about. How much is left?
Somewhere around 12 or so.
It will be more than that.
No,
But
no.
let's
Yeah,
even
yeah.
say,
So 12, 13, 12, 13, yeah.
okay, let's even say it is 12 billion. Just give it to you. 12 billion in 1 year, right? That's 12 billion. So you know that it is far, far lower than what your Guardian report is talking about.
No, no, no. The Guardian report, what they are saying there, that's the
Yeah.
amount that is supposed to get to Nigeria, but the actual foreign currency exchange doesn't get to Nigeria. That's the point. See, let me read the actual statement so you understand what they are saying. They said diaspora remittances. They didn't say the remittances didn't happen. Didn't get to Nigeria.
But we just use the number that got to Nigeria now. You are using
No,
CBN
no.
number.
You can use the number. See, you
No,
don't
no, no.
understand. No, you're not listening to me. Okay, it's okay then. Leave it since you don't want
But
to listen to my
but
point.
it is you that is not listening. But you gave a number of 1.3 billion in January.
If you
and the
listen to
CBN
what I'm
number.
saying, maybe you understand where I'm coming from.
Okay.
I've made this argument before that Nigerians don't pick up on dangers. Like now I'm in the UK. I will want to send money to Nigeria. I will go to this app and put money my UK currency there, and then I'll say send the money to Nigeria, and within 5 minutes is in Nigeria. How does it get to Nigeria so quickly? Because we know banking transaction it's not that fast. It means that they have money in Nigeria already that they can move to your account. It means the funds I just sent to them doesn't make it to Nigeria. That is what they are highlighting.
So do you think so? That their naira, it is the same now. That their
No, all
naira
it
that
is doing is stimulating economic activity in Nigeria. It doesn't necessarily
listen to
mean
Niger,
foreign exchange is getting to Nigeria.
listen now. Listen now. You just gave an example now.
Okay,
Right
fine,
there, you
fine.
have
Yeah, I will listen
right
to
there.
you. I will listen to you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that example that you just gave now, it explains it all. Their naira that is in Nigeria, does that naira just got there as magic? It was their pound in the first place that they brought to Nigeria that they converted. Okay. So the money is already, its remittances is already there. It's just that their own is up front. It is not that. So you mean they brought naira from UK, the payment company? They brought their pound, they brought their dollar to Nigeria, converted it. So the money is already with CBN. So
Okay, you
they
finish.
might
Okay,
choose,
now
they
let me
might
let me explain it to you so you understand the dangers of what they are doing. What they are doing there is that they are retaining the foreign exchange that we Nigerians value so much. They are retaining it and stimulating naira activity going on in Nigeria. In other words, when we now want to spend that money that we spend in Nigeria, we will need more foreign exchange that we don't have. Then our currency depreciates further, and now when our currency depreciates further, then we send more money over here. The same process repeats itself, and our currency keeps depreciating further.
I don't know how to
So,
explain to you.
I see. Don't worry. The all this stuff is going to come out even more and more. And because
All
when
I'm
I
just
looked
telling
at it,
you, all
you
I'm
have to
just
ask yourself
saying,
if that currency doesn't get to Nigeria, we are losing.
either way, the £100 that you send gets to Nigeria. Either even before you send it or after you send it. Either way, that your £100 gets to the bank in Nigeria. To the
No, it's
CBN
just
in
naira
Nigeria.
that gets to the bank in
No,
Nigeria.
no, no, no. That money. So let's use another. Let me give you another example. I can set up a payment platform today, right? A money payment platform. I set it up today, right? And then I'm in UK and I'm asking UK residents that when they use the platform, they will get their money in Naira, right? I'm in UK, I live in UK, all my money in British pound. What I have done in the process of setting up the business is that I have taken, for example, £100,000, 300 300,000 pounds. I have brought it to Nigeria. I have wired the 300,000 pounds to Nigeria. I have converted the 300 pounds to naira, and I have stuck it in 4, 5, or 6 or 7 different commercial banks in Nigeria. I now turn around and come to UK and begin to advertise. Just send your money so you will get it. That is what happens. So my pound, my 300 pounds is already in the Nigeria economy. That's what I'm telling you. So when you now send your 100 pounds, right, I already have a naira account there.
Okay.
And because of currency fluctuation, as a businessman, I will not even do that. I will be, you see, I will take my pound. I have a dollar account in Nigeria or a pound account in Nigeria. I will send my pound to my dollar account. I'm not going to be stupid to change the entire 300,000 pounds in one sweep, because I know that currency will fluctuate and it will change. I will be doing it maybe 10,000 on a daily basis. You have your staff convert based on the currency, 10,000, distribute it to the following account so that we will be liquid. Whenever people send money, they can use those accounts. So either way you want to spin it, me as a business person or as an investor, my 300,000 pounds is in the Nigerian economy. So
Okay,
that's what I'm telling you.
I'm not saying that your 300,000 naira is not in the Nigerian currency.
300,000 pounds.
Currency. 300,000 pounds. Sorry. 300,000 pounds is not in the Nigerian economy. See, the point I'm trying to highlight here is that one, when they want to send the money to Nigeria, they do an exchange that they extract wealth from the resource you are sending to Nigeria, the currency you are sending to Nigeria. They extract money from it, and then they send it to Nigeria, and the money doesn't even get there in terms of the real currency. If the naira gets over to Nigeria, yes, it stimulates economic activity, but that economic activity, guess who is coming back to? It's coming back to them again, because most of the stuff you are buying is from overseas.
What you are saying is that you are saying that the money doesn't get there, the dollar or the pound doesn't get there.
Most of the time, the dollar doesn't get there. That's why I'm
telling you. But I just explained to you that it's already there now.
See, you are thinking it's already there because the way it appears to you as a user.
It's not the way it appears now. I'm telling you the way business, the way
it will it's in an account. It's a digital number in an account.
What do you mean? What do you mean digital number in an account?
Oh, you are not understanding. See,
I understand.
When you say you send money to Nigerian account, like the Nigerian banks now, they can decide that okay, they hold your funds in this thing. What they call it, dollar. The dollar account one is different, to be fair. I'm talking about the one that they convert it to naira and send it to Nigeria. That's the one, because that's the one that does most of the transactions to Nigeria. So when they convert it to naira and send it to Nigeria, they will extract wealth from it. At the same time, the currency doesn't make it to Nigeria, and the economic activity. Let me finish the point now. Let me finish the point so you understand what I'm saying. When the what makes it to Nigeria is naira. The naira is already there in the economy. They own it already in naira in Nigeria. So they are just using it to exchange. And the money goes into the Nigerian economy. And when you go and spend it, guess what you're going to spend it on? Most of the stuff you're spending on, half of it at least, comes from the foreign exchange again that we still need and they will extract money from. And most of the payments we make, they extract money from it. So this is why our own currency suffers and they gain. Why do you think Nigeria is going after Binance?
How did the naira get to Nigeria?
The naira gets to Nigeria because they've already got it in Nigeria as Nigerian currency.
They put it in FedEx envelope and send the naira to Nigeria.
Oh no! See, I agree with you. They must invest in Nigeria to be able to do that. You see what I mean? And
they are not investing anything in Nigeria to Nigeria. You are just trying to. This is so easy.
The money has to be come from. The money has to come from somewhere.
This is just so easy to explain.
How? Okay, explain it now. If you are so, if you know more than the guy there.
What else? Do you want me to explain when Mr. General keep explaining to you and then you don't understand?
No, because he seems to think that.
I gave an example of boss revolution that we use over here. And there are those of them like that. You can tell them, I want my family to get dollar, and they give them dollars. They get dollars. So how would the bank give my family dollar and then they are not getting their money back?
Until you ask for the money, where is the money?
You know why? You know why the CBN stopped the dollar? Why the CBN stopped the dollar is because Nigerians are hoarding it. So, for example, if I send $100 to my family member in Nigeria, and then my family member walks into Zenith or to Access Bank, and Access Bank gives my family member $100, right? It takes that $100, one or two things will happen. He will either go and put it under his mattress, saving it with the expectation that naira will depreciate and dollar will appreciate, or he will take that $100 to bureau the change, right? Go and change it. So the money is not getting to the real economy. It's not ending up in central bank. That is the money we're talking about. It's not ending up in the coffers of the central bank. So the central bank now devised a means. Let us stop banks giving them this dollar, so that this dollar now will become our own. The example I gave earlier, when I said those company, the payment company, will bring naira, will bring their pound or dollar to Nigeria, now convert it. Previously, it is their dollar and their pound. They leave it in those accounts. They don't touch it. They leave it there because they know that their customers will get paid in dollar or in pound in Nigeria, mostly in dollars. So they leave it there. But now they have to convert it to naira, right? So it is simply because the money is not really showing the real effect in the economy. But by so doing now, see, the entire money that you and I, or Nigerians in the diaspora, one way or the other, we are sending to Nigeria, see, every dime of it ends up in the covers of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Whether you like it or not, it's not, like saying no to it or arguing, it does not change the fact. The fact is the fact. If you send
Okay,
your
Mr. Jonathan, if you say the money is not making it to Nigeria, then what are the families? What are they getting? Either by naira or dollar. Even forget about it, what I explained to you.
Have you people
Either by
have you
naira or dollar.
finished have you finished
Are they not
agreeing with
making money?
yourselves? Let me finish the point I'm making. Let me just read this.
I'm not agreeing
In
with.
our let me just
Agree
read
with
now.
what?
Let me just read what it said. It says, in our interactions with multinational rating agencies and other stakeholders, these are rating agencies of the world, though. Many of them said to us the exchange rate difficulty is more than 50% of all the challenges in Nigeria
who is
combined.
speaking? Who is speaking? Who are you
These are
referring to?
these are world institutions that they were talking
Rating,
to.
okay, okay.
The world institution. It said it says let me go back again. It says the rating agencies and other stakeholders, many of them said to us that exchange rate difficulty is more than 50% of all the challenges in Nigeria combined, as far as they are concerned. So this is a major issue that we have to address. So, and these people are the ones that said that the term that they used was, let me use it and say, findings have shown that about $18 billion, representing 90% of the estimated $20 billion Nigerians over diaspora remittances in 2023 did not end up in the country. Taiwo Oyedele, Chairman, Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform, said, and he said, recall that the World Bank had estimated that diaspora remittance to Nigeria in 2023 was $20 billion. However, speaking in a panel discussion at the 2020 Economic Outlook and Budget Analysis organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Oyedele estimated that more than 90% of the remittances were externalized. So this is the thing that most people don't pick up on. These people are very cunning, crafty people. And I don't even know how I know it. I think the way I know it, I said it to you before, that when I send money to Nigeria and it gets there within 5 minutes, you can if you
The
do your
central
calculation,
bank,
you can know that
see,
they are
what
not
you,
sending that
what,
that,
I don't
that
know.
pounds
I
to
don't.
Nigeria.
If I tell you that I understood the importance or the relevance of what we've just read to the discussion we're having, I'm probably
Because I don't know why you can't understand
Exactly.
it. Because for me, I
Exactly.
can understand it
Understand
in a
what?
common sense way.
Understand what?
Okay, let me ask you now.
Excuse me, guys.
If you send naira to
Excuse
Nigeria,
me,
if you
guys.
send naira to Nigeria from the UK and it gets to Nigeria in 5 minutes, how do you think it gets there? Do you think it gets to the central bank?
Okay,
It doesn't get to the central bank.
okay, to Niger, please. I've been trying to follow the arguments on both sides, and I just want to know. Let's consider that money doesn't get to Nigeria. What happens to it? And because Mr. Jonathan just made that calculation, the $1.3 billion a month times 12, and he removed 20%. I was trying to follow that, but your argument is that not all those funds comes to Nigeria. So where do the extra fund where does it go, if I may ask?
Personally, the way I look at it is that the way it works is that these people already have assets in Nigeria, resources in Nigeria. So when you send money to Nigeria, they will take it and put the money in your account. In other words, when they say remittances get to Nigeria in dollars, the important thing is that it gets to the central bank. But the problem with this process is that it doesn't, because they already have money in Nigeria. So they are circumventing the central bank. That is the problem. And I think Emefiele tried to do something about it, and obviously a lot of people hated him for it because he stopped people sending money using that those apps. So that is the process that they use to circumvent this in the Nigerian Central Bank. You can even do it yourself. Send money from overseas, and it gets to your account within 5 minutes. That tells you that they are not sending that pounds to Nigeria, because that process takes a long time. If you try to send pounds directly from your account to Nigeria, check how long it takes to go to Nigeria.
To Niger, let me now say now, having listened to you for some few minutes, you see, please, I like us to have a civic conversation, okay, an intelligent conversation. If that is not the case, let's just call it a quit. Based on what you've said now, it simply means that you don't understand how this thing works. Even if they have the money in Nigeria already, and I gave you an example, that if your family member walks into Central Zenith Bank, right? I give it to you that okay, they already have the pound in Nigeria, their dollar account in Nigeria. That your family member or my family member just walk into their Zenith branch and collect that $100, right, from the bank. Okay, that means by your own estimate, now you think economic transaction ends there. No, it goes further, and I will explain that to you. When my family member gets the $100, I've told you the only way the money will not reflect in the Nigeria economy is if my brother or sister or whoever takes that $100 and go and stash it under his mattress. But the moment he walks into a bureau de change and give a malam the $100, and the malam gives him or her the equivalent in naira, that money is already in the Nigeria economy. Because why? The malam is going back with that is going to that $100 in his hand is going to end up in a bank account in Nigeria. So
Exactly.
there will be
No,
record
that
of
point
this
is a
$100.
different point. Like I said to
No,
you,
no, 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 no.
I
So what
think
I'm
no,
just
no, no,
saying
no.
is
Let me
that
just say this. It's not going to even take 10 seconds. The point I was trying to make was that I'm referring to the ones where you send actual cash and it gets to Nigeria in naira, not in the foreign currency.
it
You are
doesn't
talking
matter.
about dollar account. I'm not talking
No,
about dollar account.
again, yeah, okay. Now you are moving, you are flip flopping.
No, I
This is
said it to you
dollar.
before.
Okay,
I said it to you before already. You
I've
keep
been
saying
using
that.
the naira. I've been using the naira example for you. Okay, let me use the naira again.
Go with the naira example.
Okay, let's go with the naira again. The naira is that if you are in UK and you send your $100 to Nigeria, and then your family member or my own walks into their Zenith Bank to collect $100 equivalent in naira, they now give him or her 1,300 by today's rate. Let's just assume you did that earlier today, and then they gave him 1,300 naira. That payment company in UK is not Father Christmas. They
We muted. You muted yourself. How did that even happen?
sorry about that. That company in UK have taken that $100 to Nigeria. That $100 is already in their Nigeria account. They have converted it in Nigeria to dollar, that means to naira. So either way, whether it is naira, whether it is dollar, the money ends up in what the central bank try to stop or to prevent is to ensure that the entire money is accounted for. That's what they are trying to do. That so that
Okay,
people will
good.
not be circumvented,
Good.
that the entire money, so that
You
as I
should
told you
hear me
earlier,
out now. You should hear me out. I'm not going to try to throw
yeah,
insult
as
before I
I
start
told you
explaining it to
earlier,
you.
that
Let me just explain this to you so you understand what I'm saying. See, if somebody already has business activity in Nigeria, they have, in other words, they have cash. Let's say 10 years ago you were in Nigeria, you have assets in Nigeria, you have money. you are liquid in Nigerian account. So in other words, you are not necessarily doing any foreign exchange technically with that business anymore. All your activities in Nigeria, you have billions upon billions of naira. Yeah, that's the link there. So if you have that, then when somebody sends money from the UK now in pounds that should get to Nigeria, now you say, okay, oh, because you want 300,000 naira in naira, but you give me 1,000 pounds. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to my Nigerian business and tell them send that their family member 300,000 naira. So what has just happened there is that you're already in Nigeria, but this business are just taking the pounds that you send that should get to Nigeria and did the exchange and kept the pounds here. And so you can see how that can be damaging to our Nigerian economy, because the CBN doesn't have access to that exchange rate to give to Nigerians to buy goods overseas or pay school fees or all the rest of it. And
Okay.
guess what's going to happen? Our
Now here is
currency
the
depreciates even further.
okay. Now let me now tell you, let me now the one that we've just explained now, how the bank checkmate that. Even if I'm in Nigeria, right? I know that Nigerians use different way to circumvent government policies. Yes, that happens every day in Nigeria. If I'm in Nigeria now and you are in UK, you have the pound, I have the naira. And then I will tell you in UK that don't worry, I will set up all the accounts at different banks in Nigeria where I will put in 50 million naira in each of those accounts in Nigeria, right? There will be 50 million. So you don't need to send any pound or any dollar to Nigeria at all. So we are business partners, right? So when people now come to your office in the UK and send $100, right? I will pay them in naira in Nigeria. Then I will come back and collect, or now you will now transfer that $100 to my account in UK, take your own commission. I'm not disputing. That is a possible scenario that even is probably happening, right? So in that case, Nigeria will not see the money at all. The money will just dissipate. But how normally does the bank checkmate that? You see those accounts that I open, when the bank gets the information, right, that this person is receiving money, normally I have to give account to the bank how this money comes, the reason and the purpose why, unless I have to be lying to the bank on every $100 with documentation. If it is 10 times 100, I will lie to them 10 times. If it is 100 times, I will lie to the bank. I will lie to Zenith. I will lie to Zenith. I will lie to Access. I will lie to Diamond Bank. All of them. I will have to be lying to each and every one of them. There will be stack of document like that. So it is not that it is entirely impossible, but it is a tough one to achieve. So that's how
See,
the bank checkmate that.
one, they don't need to have account in all the banks. They just need one account in one bank. I believe that they do have multiple. These people are business people in Nigeria too, and they can do businesses in Nigeria that don't necessarily need imports even, and they will make money. Let's say they can even own properties, all kinds of stuff. So, and
Even
that's why sometimes when you send money, the money doesn't always arrive exactly the same time you expect.
even if
Sometimes
you have
it takes some time before they get the
see,
money to your account.
see, even if you have one, even if you have account with just only one bank in Nigeria, at the end of the day, it's still the same. If somebody send, or if 10 people walk into your office in London and send $100 each, your partner in Nigeria must lie to the bank 10 times.
Yeah.
The purpose of the money, the reason for the money. Now we are now talking in the thousands and in the hundreds of millions. So you
It's
can
about rules.
imagine.
It's about rules. Why would they come after
So,
them? They see the Nigerian. See, let me
so,
explain this. The Nigerian banking system charge per transaction, so they're not going to have issues with that. If depending on whether they
so
categorize them as a special case where they have to charge
yeah,
them
yeah,
more. Otherwise, they will
of
just say, okay, yeah, they will charge you per
see,
transaction like everyone else.
there is no way you can if the government really want to checkmate these people, they can always do it by using the banks. That's
They
not a
tried to do it
problem at
before
all.
and
But
they
the only
reversed the
you see
rule.
what they have done now, what they have successfully done now is to ensure that if you send the money, right, the person is going to collect naira in Nigeria. That's it. So your money stays with you there. But
And
yeah,
that is not
let
good.
me
That is
not
not good.
see, see, wait,
That's
wait.
not how the Nigerian
See,
current
see,
crude oil works. The
when you,
dollar
I'm not
actually
talking
gets to
of crude
Nigeria.
oil, you are taking,
No, no,
let's leave.
I'm trying to let you know that is where the problem is, because the currency is not getting to Nigeria, and that's not good.
The money, you see, right now, because they ensure that when you send money, your Nigerian people will receive naira, not dollar. It is
Yeah,
naira that they will receive. So
yeah.
whichever way you are, and they have make all the money bank, all the money transfer company to register in Nigeria. They
Mm-hmm.
register in Nigeria and they give them limits. So they must have certain amount of money. It used to, yeah. So it is not for all Dick and Harry. So you must have significant amount of
Oh
money.
no, no, they have money in Nigeria, all right. That's
Uh-huh.
the point. But
So
what you are, hold on, see, they have money in Nigeria, but foreign exchange is a different thing. Foreign exchange is something you need every year. You need it to be showing up every year. But this, the money is already in Nigeria. It's not coming in over and over again. You see, that's a problem. It's
well,
settling itself in
how can
Nigeria.
that be? How can that be when you have, for example, when you have let's just use, when you have $100,000 in your account and you have done money transfer transaction of 100,000 and the 100,000 is still sitting in your account. You think the bank, there is no audit.
Yeah, but
You
that's
must
what I'm
have
saying now. They
you
have
must
business
have
activity in Nigeria. And also they take cut. They have business activity in Nigeria that they can use to generate income within the Nigerian space itself. So they can be able to pay off all this money that people are sending from overseas.
which
And
business
because
which business act you think everybody in Nigeria, you just think that everybody in Nigeria is into this.
a lot of people have no, you don't
Eh?
understand. People that do this business, they have millions upon millions
I'm
of
not talking
dollars.
of people that are doing it. See, the way you are looking, I'm not talking of people that have because they have $130,000 or $150,000 they are doing it. I'm talking of people that have money that they are doing this business. So it's not just for every Dick and Harry. There are people that are doing it inside their bedroom in Nigeria. You send money, they
No,
pay you.
those ones are
I,
small time ones. Those
I'm
are
not
not the
talking
problem.
of those ones.
Those are not the big ones we are talking
See,
about.
the bottom line is this. Right now in Nigeria, if you send money from abroad, right, as it stands right now, your money ends up with this, in the hands of the Central Bank of Nigeria, most likely. That is
So
what is
these people are
happening.
lying then. All these
Which
high brow people in Nigeria, they are lying when they tell you that these funds are externalized. They use the term externalized, and even I could tell, because when I send money from Nigeria, send money to Nigeria, and it got to Nigeria within 5 minutes, I knew one way or the other that money is not making it to Nigeria. And I don't know why this type of stuff, sometimes it just eludes people
the
sometimes.
money. No, what you don't know is you see, you have that. Yes, you have that understanding, which is a normal thing. How you can be asking that question? How is it that this person received the money within 5 minutes? See, as I've said earlier, the company already they have the money in Nigeria, right? And when the money is already in their account. So when they now release 200,000, you transfer it. You already register as a payment company.
And they can generate another 200,000 again. The next person send money again. They generate
Yes,
another
yes,
200,000. All of
but
them within Nigerian
remember,
space
no, see,
without the foreign currency coming in.
wait. You remember when, unless you see, it's only, you see what you are explaining. You are explaining. Let me just say
You
it
are
to
not
you.
addressing the
No,
problem I'm
no, the
trying
way
to
you are
highlight to you.
addressing it, your understanding. Let me tell you the way you are looking at it. You are looking at it that all these money banks are fraud. They are fraudulent company. They
No,
are.
no, I'm not calling them fraud. I'm saying
No.
that
That's
but the
see what you
money,
are talking.
our leaders are the ones that create
No,
that
the way
loophole
you
for
see
them to be able to do it.
what you are suggesting, or the understanding that you have, can only be successful in a fraudulent environment. In a normal
I don't think
setting.
it's necessarily a fraudulent
No.
environment.
Let me tell you how it will be fraudulent. When you open the account, first of all, you don't tell them that you are a money payment company. That's it. Right off the bat.
No.
So when you go to the bank now, but because if you tell your bank that you are a money payment company, you register with the corporate affairs in Nigeria, that your company, you are in the business of money transfer. And you open your account like that. And then your bank, they started seeing 150, 200, 70,000. Sometimes in a day, you are doing transaction of 30, 40 million naira. So you think the bank due diligence the compliance department, they just stand still and they will not ask you, where's the money? They will lock up your account. They will
See, I
shut
think
it
I
off.
think let me explain this to you. I think let's ascend to the level of regulations now.
Yeah,
See,
that's
the
what
bank.
I'm
Let me
talking now.
get to that point. See, the point I'm trying to say here is that the regulation to whether the people are allowed to just use currency that they have in Nigeria to augment, that's to make up for whatever people give them overseas. That regulation can be, they can either say you have to make sure the foreign currency gets to Nigeria, or you are allowed to just use local currency to deliver the value to the customer.
So who does
And
that
I
then?
think now, hold on,
Which
I think
economy does
now
that?
they are doing it. That's my point. That's what this guy is saying. That now the rules are that you are allowed to do that. Before, it wasn't allowed. As a matter of fact, Emefiele was allowing it at first, then he banned it. I experienced it firsthand. I wanted to send money to Nigeria with the app. I couldn't do it anymore, so I had to go through this in other ways to send money to Nigeria. So this current government has said, okay, it's fine. Because it's convenient for me. If I send money to Nigeria, I want it in Naira, it gets there in Naira. But in reality, the damage it's doing is that the people here, the people that are sending to Nigeria, they don't necessarily have to send the pounds to Nigeria. And most of them don't.
That's
Because
not
they make
correct.
more money by not doing that.
What is happening right now? I don't know how else to explain it to you. What is happening right now is that every money, every dollar you sent from abroad ends up in the Nigeria economy. You know, a larger
It
percentage.
does. I'm not saying it doesn't end up. I'm saying the actual dollar itself doesn't end up. The Naira does, but the dollar itself doesn't.
And that's I'm telling you that the dollar ends up in the way it is right now. I know what I'm saying.
No,
I'm
no, no.
telling you that the dollar
You don't.
ends up in Nigeria.
See,
The
see.
pound. See,
You know why I believe in what these people are saying, because I know there is no way, and that is why they banned it before. Jesus Christ, you are supposed to understand
how
it.
much
They,
is the
they
how
banned it
much
for a
how much?
reason
Okay,
before.
let me ask you this question now. You know that when report is coming out, this is 2024. The 2023 remittances report, right, just came out. The 2022 remittances report, do you know that from the central bank?
It's still just about the same amount,
How much?
20 billion or so.
How much? You said 20
20
billion.
billion. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
22 billion, 22 billion. That is over 22 billion.
Yeah,
Even that's the one.
it's still within the same ballpark. The
Yeah,
point is that is not more than what we get from crude oil. I don't know why people just say
that
these
is
things
what?
flippantly.
That is what?
We get more money from crude oil than that.
Real
Yes.
dollar. That's not correct now.
No, we use it to buy fuel, but we actually, when we sell crude oil, we get more money than that.
That's what I'm telling you. I say real dollar. I'm not talking. See, you can
You, of
record.
course, real dollar now.
See,
We get
if
real
you
dollar from
record,
crude oil.
see, what all we care about in the economy is that if you say that you have $10 billion, but the real amount that was paid into your account was $1 billion. I'm talking about that 1 billion. I'm not talking about that 10 billion. So if Nigeria comes out and say that they get 30 billion in crude oil, the actual amount that Nigeria is entitled to is far, far less. That's the reason why the diaspora remittances is greater.
No,
There's just it's
see,
great.
it's not. Oh God, I don't. You see, it's not fair to do that, because
Uh-uh.
the reason why I say that is because, one, if you are in a home, and as a person that owns a home, you get 100,000 dollars per annum, and every month you have to pay rent. You don't say, oh, because I have to pay rent, I don't earn that $100,000. You have to say, I earn that $100,000, then I
But
have
we're
to use
talking
this
of
and
the
this
real.
and this
That's
and
why
this to pay rent.
we're talking of the real numbers.
Yeah,
The real amount.
then you have to admit that the earnings from crude oil
See,
is higher than that of the this thing. But by the time we spend the money that we get from
which
crude
of those?
oil,
Okay, which
it's
of them?
less.
Okay, now okay, which of those two now will affect the real economy more than the other? When you factor in
The one that
the
is
real
higher will
numbers.
affect the economy more.
You said what?
The one that is higher will affect the economy more.
I'm talking about, see, for example, now you cannot, for example, now if you say you have, I'll give you an example. If you say you have $10 billion, but the actual money paid to you was $1 billion, right?
Yes.
And then the other person said, okay, I have $10 billion, but the actual money paid to me was $8 billion. Which of the two will have more positive impact in their businesses? Is it the one that had 1 billion or the one that had 8 billion?
You see, what you just did there was dismiss. What kind of reasoning is that? You just basically dismissed the reason why those billions disappear. They
What do you
they
mean?
disappear for a reason, for a very valuable reason. Petrol. Without petrol, the economy collapses.
I don't want
What
to
is wrong
go
with you?
deeper.
You can't do that kind of voodoo mathematics here. What is?
I don't want to
How
go.
can
I
you
don't want
do
to
that,
go deeper. I
Jonathan?
don't want to go deeper than this. Okay. How much
Jonathan,
of
don't do a deeper life for me here.
listen,
Don't do
listen
a
to
deeper
me.
life for me
Listen.
here.
How much
Yes.
of Nigerian crude oil sale is going to repurchases?
Crude oil sales.
Yeah,
They
it's
use it to
going.
buy.
See, listen.
What do you mean
See, what you
repurchases? I don't
don't
understand
know,
what you mean.
you
Okay,
don't know.
explain it to me. What do you mean by real
See,
purchases?
the reason I thought
What does that
before you
mean?
can be making those arguments.
Don't over explain it. Just tell me
Okay,
what you mean, please.
so that see, Nigerian money that the Nigerian money gets in crude oil, right? More than 60% of that money goes to repurchases. What does repurchases mean? It simply means that when Nigeria sells crude oil, rather than the buyer depositing the money, right, into Nigeria's account, the buyer, right, deposit the money into IMF account. Okay, so which means that Nigeria has used those crude oil sales as collateral for those crude oil. So that is called repurchases. It doesn't then matter that Nigeria will still not put that sales, in their books. Nigeria will still record it as sales, but it is simply repurchases. So see,
what difference does it make?
It makes, because the money Nigeria cannot use. How can you say the money that you cannot use does not make a difference? The money that Nigeria cannot,
simplify this for you.
put in. Okay, why can't, if the money
because the money you cannot use is because you are using it for something. What do you mean?
You are not using it for anything. You are using it to pay back. You are using the money.
You just said it. Hey, you see that you are just saying it. You are using it to do something. Why are you saying you are not using it for something?
But you are not using it. For example, if you are not using it to impact the real economy, if the money is being used, if the money is being
impacting the real economy.
How?
Because when it's
which
like,
one are they using?
On, let me explain to you.
Why can't they use it? Why can't they use it? Why can't they use it to support, if the money is there, to support the naira?
See, let me explain this in a simplified way that the viewers might understand. We don't want to use convoluted terms when you start going into IMF this and this. Let's use simple terms. Let's use simple terms. Let's say somebody earns 100,000 and you owe money. You owe 50,000 somewhere, or you have an obligation for 50,000, and you go and use that the 100,000 you get that you earn, and you go and use that 50,000 for something which is an obligation that is going to come back to haunt you and threaten the 100,000 if you don't do that. And then you go and say, this guy earned 50,000 really because it's only 50,000 he can use for his economy that is actually really useful. No, the 50,000 that he went and staked over there is also useful because it's his obligation.
You are repeating what I said. You earn the money, right? You earn them.
Then that's where the argument should stop. Nigeria earns more from crude oil. Period.
All we are talking about right now.
We are talking about the terms when you said Nigeria earns more from crude oil than the remittance. No, you said Nigeria earns more from remittance than crude oil. I'm telling you that no, we actually earn more from crude oil than remittance.
If you know why, I don't want to do the work for you. I have everything with me. But I'm not going to do it for you. Yes, I'm not going because my perception. My understand. You said what?
Maths does not lie.
No, that's numbers does not lie. See, what I'm telling you is this. You see, because what you are using, I don't use Google to search.
I'm not using Google. I just know how much Nigeria earns. Even if I use Google, what is wrong with that? I want to use my own frail knowledge.
Because anything you use on Google, let me tell you this now. So start.
So a professor posts this on Google. IMF posts this on
start
Google.
using
Everybody
that
posts this on
going.
Google. Then
No,
I should not
start
use it because you are
let me
smarter
tell
than
you.
Google.
Start using that going forward. Any information you check on Google, subject it to scrutiny.
Of course I do.
We check something right now. You want to use it for
because
conversation.
you know why I agree with it? Because I told you I've already made that submission months ago. I made a submission about this months ago. I said most of these funds don't go to Nigeria. I don't have to see that to even know.
Which money? Remittances. Are you talking of remittances? Remittances.
Most of the foreign currency doesn't make it to Nigeria. When I was saying it, then a lot of people, to be fair, on that panel, surprisingly, many people agree with me. I'm surprised you are here arguing with me about it. Even when they show you the evidence that people are the people that are in charge of all this are telling you that this is what is going on.
You see, remittances ends up in Nigeria. I don't know how to explain it to you again. I've explained it to you in dollars. I've explained it to you in naira. And I don't know how to do it again.
If you cannot read between the lines,
the only way I would agree with you without accepting, but I would just without conceding. It is only based on fraudulent practices. Can't you get that one?
I think it's legal.
See, the only
problem.
The only way remittances will not get to Nigeria will not end up in central bank coffers is fraudulent practices.
Jonathan, are you not overseas? How can you not see? Under Buhari, there was a time we can send foreign currency to Nigeria and it gets to your account in naira. Then it was stopped because of these problems that they were having. And then they removed it again. Then I think it was Tinubu government that removed it and started allowing them to send in naira again. So it's not fraudulent. This is it's a deliberate policy that they allow to happen.
See, I've explained. I don't know. It's like this guy.
And look at how fast our currency has depreciated since then.
The issue is that you discuss what you know. You also discuss what you don't know. That's what I can see. Yes. And when you are having conversation,
I'm the only one that has presented evidence here. You have not even presented evidence. You just want me to believe.
No. Because why?
What evidence did you provide? When someone
I provided evidence of people in CBN, people in Chamber of Commerce, people that have spoken to multinational companies.
You can present order with them. You can present order from Vanguard and then your daily trust. But I mean, your IMF.
Give us a mandate.
Hold on.
Jonathan, you are like a quack doctor. They don't even get involved in this conversation.
Give us a mandate to Niger.
Sorry, give us a mandate. I didn't mean it.
What I've seen here.
No, I mean, no offense to that. You can choose to say whatever you want to say, but I mean, what you are saying, whatever you are saying does not change the fact that remittance, that's why remittance is much higher than what we make from crude oil.
No, it's not. It's factually not true. You can't
say
that.
That means IMF is lying to you.
Okay, let me ask you now. Let me ask you now. Give us a mandate. How many barrels of oil
you are enjoying that? See, to Nigeria, you are enjoying that we are on a social media platform. Let me tell you this. Again, get it straight. Remittances from diaspora is more than what comes from the crude oil sector.
Okay, now let me
tell you. Wait. Let me give you facts now. Let me throw one at you.
Mm-hmm.
According to CBN, the first report that they released after Tinubu came in, because Tinubu came in thinking that all was rosy with the account of the Listen now, the account was rosy with CB, when they get there is a lot of fat money to work with. But when they got in, they realized that this thing was empty. That was one of the first reasons amongst others, they went after Emefiele. And then the CBN was forced. Remember that in the first report, Emefiele has been fired. We now have a CBN acting governor. And the first report he gave was that Nigeria earned more from foreign remittances than the oil sector, and the Nigeria economy cannot survive on this. So
No, that's
that's
not what
one
he
point.
said.
That's a
What he
confirm.
probably, let me say what he probably said.
How can you say probably? Probably. No,
Because I feel like the way
Hey
you
man,
interpret
how
information
can you be saying somebody say? How can you be saying somebody
give
should
us
say
that's
our
something
bad
you're
of
so
day.
funny.
probably? No, no,
You're
no,
so
no,
funny.
Give us our
no,
bad
no.
day. Stay out of this. Stay out of this.
Why
Eh,
should I start of it? You said
Are you feeling
let
sorry
me
for
explain
Jonathan? Are
what
you
you
feeling
call
sorry
him
for
to say.
Jonathan? Is
No,
Jonathan
no, no, no,
suffering
no.
here? Come, hold on
Oh,
now.
no, 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 no,
Let me
no, no,
finish
no.
with
You cannot
Jonathan
allow it
now.
to see your video. You cannot see personality here. You are
Why are
saying
you
that
trying to save
let
Jonathan?
you
Eh?
explain.
Let
Oh,
me
God,
let me
you are
deal with
saying that
Jonathan
let you
here.
explain what you probably want to say. So
Oh,
you know, man.
see, I can
You,
literally tell.
I don't
Hold on,
know
let me just say things that don't add up.
how much more should we explain to you? And
You
I'm
can't
sure
say
that this
stuff.
will
You
have come
can't
up
say
in
stuff
the
without
comment
evidence, and
section.
you just say stuff. If I was saying stuff, I will send a link to you, and I will give you evidence. Now,
What link are you
I
sending to me? You are,
uh,
what you said now is on tape, and you are saying that what you probably want to say.
I've
Probably
not
want to
seen the
say.
tape. I've not seen the tape. This is how Chris went on to say something
No,
earlier on.
my
I said,
God.
no, that cannot be true. See, what that minister was probably saying was that in real time, the actual cash we have at hand to spend, the
In
diaspora one
fact,
is higher.
in fact, let me give you another one because
Oh, I thought you were
see,
going to throw
no.
a
I'm giving
link
you
at
facts
me.
because I'm giving you facts. These are facts
But
that
I want to do the numbers though.
see.
The price
In
of crude
fact,
oil is
according to CBN,
$86,
see
isn't it?
everything I'm telling you, you just fact check me.
Mm-hmm.
According to CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria, in fact, illegal remittances are far greater than the real ones recorded. So,
Okay.
in other words, even the numbers we're talking about is even way, way, way lower than what it should be,
Oh, oh,
according to CBN.
okay. You want to say that one is this, but the one that they are stealing crude oil is not doesn't include two.
No. I'm
We
not
have
talking
to
of
go with the
crude
real
oil.
numbers that we know of.
I'm not talking of crude oil. I'm talking of I'm talking of diaspora remittances.
No,
Illegal.
I've had
See,
people say that before, and I've
the
had
one
see
that the
you
hundred
have to go with
dollar.
the you see you can't go with dark currency. You have
What
to
is
go with
that
the one you
currency?
know.
But
You can't just go
no,
with dark number. What is it?
wait.
What is the size of the dark number?
You like that? Are you saying that? Are
100
you saying
billion?
that? Are you saying that CBN? Are you saying that
Because
CBN? Are you saying that
because
CBN is
it came
telling
from
lies
an
now?
official
No, I'm
source.
not saying they are telling
No,
lies. I'm saying you
no,
can't
no.
use
That's what you
numbers.
are saying. Immediately, that
Hold
CBN,
on now.
that CBN. No,
Let's be
you hold
rational.
on. You hold on. That CBN that controls monetary policy in your country. What they have, and they said that means it's not real. That what you Nigeria is saying is the real thing, right?
No. What I'm saying is
No,
that
that's
if
what you are saying immediately
hold on
now.
now, hold on. Let me study. Let me try to explain why I'm saying you can't take that number and use it for the kind of conversation we're having. Because I could tell you now that, oh, how about the crude oil that they are stealing? All that money they are stealing, they are making. We can add that
You
too.
add
So
it on,
you
add it.
can't. You have to go with what you know. You
Eh?
can't just use a vague number that it says we are probably making more from illegal this remittances, but it's a number we don't know about. You see what I mean? You
No,
can't do that.
no. How will they? No, what are you talking about now? CBN knows the number. That's why they can do comparison. You cannot do
What is the number? Do you
comparison with
know?
what
Do
you
you know
don't
the
know.
number? Do you know the number?
I will. You
You
see
don't. So CBN didn't give you the
everything.
number.
I
You are
think
believing it.
I, it came from an official source.
So
Yeah.
you should not believe
When you get information,
you should not believe your central
from
bank.
official source now, and when I told you, you said
And many of
assume.
us are overseas. Many of us are overseas. How
No, are you
many?
saying that? Are you saying that
No.
your central bank? Are you saying that your central bank? Then that means your central bank should be closed down, or for them they don't know what they are doing.
See, how many of the remittances are we talking about here? Because we all go overseas. How many of us do so many illegal remittances? How many other ways do you have to send money to Nigeria?
That's what you see. That's why you are. That's why. See, I'm sorry to say. That's why. That's why you.
Oh, don't say it, oh. Don't say
That,
it before you have to apologize, oh. Don't
no,
say
no,
it,
no, no, no,
oh.
no, 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 no. I
See,
don't speak. I don't speak anyhow.
$47 billion. If we
See,
go by the current numbers, Nigeria
see,
makes about $47 billion, and I'm using after the local
$47
consumption of
billion
crude oil.
on what?
$47 billion on crude oil alone. That's what we make in the total this number. So this is what I mean. If you take 1.5 million barrels, and that is right now Nigeria is doing 1.9. If you take 1.5 billion barrels, because we are local consumption
This man,
100 and
see,
something thousand.
see. I can't listen to that one. That is
Why?
not. That is just this thing.
$47
Which
billion
number are you talking?
eight.
Is it the number? Is it the number that NNPC is releasing to you? What?
I'm using the number that is,
of crude oil? How much of crude oil did Nigeria sold in January or in September
I'm
last
using
year?
number that is available online. That's everybody has.
Where is it from NNPC?
No. It's world. See, hold on. It's world meters.info. These are international organizations that collect this information.
See to Niger. Let me tell you. See to Niger. See.
Let me send you the link again so you can see that one again. Let me explain. I like to present evidence. Everybody be my witness. I speak with evidence.
Let me explain how this works. To you. See, if a country says we are selling 1.5 million barrels per day, the world will take it. The entire world will take it. Financial institutions will take it. Financial analysts will take it and they will form their basis, because that's what the Nigerian government said. 1.5 million. That's the benchmark. They will take it. It is a different thing now. If Nigeria is actually now delivering 750,000, half of that, they're not going to factor it in. That's the problem Nigeria have.
See,
the numbers we're seeing, they will take it. But you and I know, I want to believe, because it will be a costly assumption. Let me just assume, but it will be costly one that you know, because you probably might not know. Nigeria is not selling 1.5 crude oil per day today.
But that's
it's
what
far less. It's far less. If Nigeria is selling, listen. If Nigeria,
how can you just do that? How can you just make up your own number?
I'm not making up my numbers now. If Nigeria is selling crude oil 1.5 million today, do you have the number from NNPC?
This number is presented to a world organization that takes this into account.
By who?
By who?
I just told you that.
By people that do this job. It's like you are saying by who? It's like a doctor. A doctor, if you doctor that you say by which doctor?
See, I said that when a country gives out a number or information on anything, like something like economics subject matter, the world will take it.
No. They don't just, oh my God, they don't just take it like that. That's not how it works.
No. They do. It's a different thing. See,
they actually measure it.
Okay, please. Nigeria said in the budget. Okay, so go and argue with it. Nigeria said in the budget, the benchmark, the dollar they are using per barrel, that is going to be $77 per barrel. When the analysts are making the analysis and projection, it is based on that. You think they are going to now end up using a different number?
No. You see, what you said just now is very interesting. You said the numbers that they give, which is for the price of crude oil, but they are not basing it based on the the total export of crude oil. The total export of crude oil goes up and down, but right now I'm telling you it's 1.9 something million.
We can't go. Don't say that. Don't say that here, please. Don't say that.
Why do you do that? Why do you just don't say that? I didn't make it up.
I ask you that. See, the reason why I said that is there are two reasons. One, right? If Nigeria is selling 1.9, you even say 1.9. How dare you? I'm telling you what. See,
it's 1.9338.5.
Okay. Listen now. Let's dig into that now. Jay, you are ready.
No,
let's dig into that.
Yeah,
1.9. Please do your calculator, because you are the one that brought it out. So you will say the numbers so that people can hear you.
Let's do 1.9 million.
1.9 million. So I give it to you at $70 per barrel. So
no, the actual crude oil price today is 86.6.
No. We use the Nigerian rate. What Nigerian?
Okay, let's use the Nigerian.
Because you know why you can't use that.
Fair point. Go ahead. Use that.
The reason why you can't use that.
1.9 million. Oh my God, you're going to regret doing that.
Okay. 1.9. Listen to me. 1.9 million times $70. How much is that per day?
That's per day. It's 133 million per day.
How much is that? How much? 133 million. How much is that per
Dollars.
month?
Per
Times
annum,
10.
just multiply it by 365.
No, because the year is not ended now. So we'll just be making some. I will just multiply it by 1 month now.
By 1 month is 31 or 32. Which one you want? 31 or 30? I mean,
you just use 30 days.
Okay, let's try to reduce this as much as possible. It's all good. 3 billion 990 million.
Okay, so times it by 2 now. January and February.
2 months. Okay, 3 billion 990 million times 2 times 2. You get 7 billion 982 million.
Okay.
80 million, sorry. Okay. Not 82, 80 million.
So from that amount, take 15% off.
Okay, 15% off this amount. 7. Let's see. We are really doing some serious maths here now. Times 15%, 0.15. Okay, let's give that to you. Let's do that. Bam.
You said it's 7.8 billion.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just do this now so I don't go and make a mistake here. Boom. That should do. Oh, why is it not? Come on, enter. Let's see. So it's now 6 billion 783 million.
That's Nigeria. That's so what? How much?
2 months. That's okay, for 2 months.
For 2 months now. So how much is in Nigeria foreign exchange account as of the end of February?
What? Why you are? That's not relevant.
No, I'm telling just to tell you that those numbers are lie. I'm not asking you now.
Jesus Christ, I can't believe you just.
Yes, I'm telling you that. Listen. I'm telling you.
Why did I even bother? You just turned the whole thing on his head.
I did no. I'm not.
The numbers are showing you. If 2 months can give you 6 billion,
yes.
What is going to happen if you multiply that by 6?
I said, see, we calculated a number
6
now.
billion, I mean.
Yeah, enough. We just calculated the number now. Approximately $6 billion. The $6 billion.
6 billion 700.
Yeah. No, just
so
for conversation.
$7 billion.
For the sake of conversation, like using a round number. So
and that's minus
15%. Approximately 6 billion thereabout. And I'll ask you that, okay, how much is in Nigeria's foreign reserve account as of the end of February 2024?
You know that foreign reserve started from forever. Okay, but Nigeria foreign reserve. All right, let's see what that gives us. I'm not sure. It's not giving me any clear number yet. Whether you can get the one. Okay, let me 2024. I mean. Oh, so that might be better. Let's see what it says. Foreign reserve, Central Bank of Nigeria, 30 days. I don't know whether they will have it. But I think it's 30-something billion now. Is that not what they said recently?
See.
So why are you? What is the point you are trying to make if they say it's 30-something billion?
Yes. Now the reason why I'm asking that question is that as of the end of February.
Yeah, from what I can see, 34 billion or so now. Right? Anyway, now it's about 34 billion.
34 what?
Billion US dollars.
How can you say that Nigerian foreign reserve is 34 billion?
That's what I'm looking at right
Nigerian foreign reserve right now as we speak is less than $2 billion.
Oh my goodness, this guy!
Yes, now. Yes.
How dare you say that? How dare you say that? You are insulting the great Nigerian state. How dare you say such a scandalous thing? I'm looking at the CBA website right now. It's saying the Nigerian foreign exchange, this is the reserve. Okay, it's come down now a little bit actually, but at a point around 18th of March, it's showing 34 billion 449 million 783
Listen. I will refer you to August 2023 Goldman Sachs report, because that is the bank, okay, that holds Nigerian foreign reserve.
Oh my
And
God.
their
Okay,
report,
let's go to foreign countries now. Let
their
them tell us
report, their
what we
20,
have.
see, listen, their August 20, that was the reason why, I gave you an example of when the central bank acting governor in August came out to give the report that all those ones, the remittances, crude oil, whatever. In that same August, Goldman Sachs said Nigerian foreign balance was less than $3 billion.
You are wrong. Let me explain this. I'm looking at another site now. This is not CBN site. This is tradingeconomics.com. The whole world, the whole world information. They're not just holding Nigeria this thing. If you want to check UK and others, they hold their information. There are certain people that specialize in these things, and it's still showing Nigeria having for this year
But
34 billion.
Tunaja, hold on, sorry.
Yeah.
Now, JP
Okay,
Morgan Chase,
JP Morgan. Is it JP
yeah,
Morgan or
JP
Goldman
Morgan,
Sachs? Okay.
the Goldman Sachs. These are the banks that keeps your foreign reserve.
Who told you they are the only one? There's the other person
Listen
involved
now,
other than.
hold on. We are not here to argue with you, but we'll not allow you to just spin your false narrative. These are banks that hold Nigerian foreign reserve. And they tell you, do not believe this government. This is how much we have. The Nigerian government sue them when they tell Nigeria how much they have in the foreign reserve.
Yeah, see, what I'm saying
Did
is that
listen, is a yes or no
why
question?
should
Did
they
Nigerian
sue?
Go to business day.
listen now,
Zunaija,
I don't know what you're talking about. You can't just start inviting an empty room.
I
Send
am
me
your
the
bank.
link.
Hold on, I am your bank, and I hold you put money, I hold your money for you. And to them, say, okay, give us a mandate. The money I have in your offer is $1 billion US. And I say, no, the amount you have with me is $5 billion. You will take me to court and say, no, maybe you have used my money for something, and then you are not telling the world. What did the Nigerian government do? Did they cancel that? Did they cancel that word from Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan?
See, they didn't. It's JP Morgan. They are limited. They are limited. They are not the one that hold all the nation's
Before
reserves.
I
I'm
put this
sorry.
out, you know what I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to put it out yourself. Send it to Mr. Elvis. Go to Business Day, August 2022, August 22, 2023. The JP Morgan report giving out the balance of Nigerian foreign reserve in their bank. So if your bank tells you this is your statement, you can if you want to dispute it, take them to court now or dispute it with them internally. Please
It's not
go to
only JP
Business
Morgan
Day.
that holds
Can you go to Business Day?
That is what you would
Okay,
do
let me
now.
look for business day
If you
now.
say
Let
you
me
have
see
this
if I can
amount in
find
my,
business
if you
day.
say you have this
Okay,
amount, and I
Put
tell you
this.
this is
Okay,
what you
let me
have,
make it
you
easier.
take me
Let
to
me make
court.
it easier for you.
hold on
Let me
now.
make it easier for you. Type in JP Morgan's reveals. Put Nigerian
JP Morgan's
JP Morgan's shock
shock
reveals.
reveals
Yeah, no, there's no S. Reveal. S is not there.
reveal.
Reveal. Puts Nigeria's FX reserve at $3 billion.
FX reserve. Yeah.
Please send it to Mr. Elvis.
Yeah, I will send it.
Please send it to him.
That's 2013 now.
Eh?
That's
2023. 2023. It was just
yeah.
about 3 months.
2023. Not 3 months. It's more than 6 months ago.
Please, Mr. Elvis, I'm calling it a truth, man. I'm having a discussion with someone who is not
No,
logical.
this guy is just here to
Jonathan,
deceive
what's the matter
Nigeria.
with you?
And it's so sad that you are doing this.
You just
It's
told
so
me
sad
that
you are doing it here and that.
I'm
It's
having
so
an
very,
agreement
very
with
sad.
someone who is
Come
just
on, what
not.
are you saying?
you guys are quite funny, you know. You just told me
No,
that it was
you are
August last
the
year,
one deceiving
and I
them. You are
told
deceiving
you
Nigeria.
that it's more than 6 months ago, and you're complaining. How is that a false statement? It's a
What you
fact.
say? What? More
It's
than
more than
6 months.
6 months ago. That's
More
what I
than
just
6
said.
months ago. So
Yes.
okay. So what is so? Okay, now let's take it further now. So in September, the number you use earlier,
Yes.
right? The number that you use, the 6.2 billion, right? So 6.2 billion in September,
Yes.
October, November, December, January, and February.
Are you
That's
shocked
6
now?
months.
Are
No,
you
no,
not
no.
shocked
Wait
now?
now.
6
Maybe
times
it's
6
6
is what?
months.
36, isn't it?
It's
Are
6
you
months
shocked
now.
now? You see what
Eh?
I mean?
Eh?
Yeah. 6
Ah,
times
no,
Talk
6
no,
is
no,
about
no,
what?
what?
no, no. I'm going somewhere now. I'm going
Okay, go
somewhere
ahead.
now. So that is 6 months with your 6.2 billion dollars times 6.2 billion times 6. How much is that?
And 6.2 times 6 is 36 billion. And more.
36, that 36 billion. No,
It's
let's
more
let's
than
just
that
let's
because
just
it's
take it. Let's just
6.7.
take 36 billion. Leave it.
Mm.
Let's just take 36 billion, and then uh, plus the 3 billion in the accounts. So that's 39 billion.
Yeah.
Assuming now without conceding, Nigeria
Yes.
have not taken out a dollar. Nigeria went ahead, borrowed 3 billion in exchange for $12 billion from the African Development Bank. Nigeria went ahead, borrowed close to 10 billion in the last 4-5 months from the IMF. So that's not it. Nigeria has gone ahead, borrowed 43 trillion from local borrowing. 43 trillion since Tinubu came in, and Nigeria has 39 billion in foreign exchange reserve. Please juxtapose that for me.
Because what you are not seeing there is the exchange rate floating, which I said was very damaging to our economy. Well, that's one.
You see,
And hold on, just because you have savings in your account doesn't mean you can borrow money.
no. See, what I'm telling you is that I'm not even talking of. I'm talking of dollar now. Nigeria have dollar in their account. They don't use naira to support foreign currency. Nigeria need dollar. Nigeria have to borrow, and it was stated specifically that how could you have 39 billion and then you have to go and borrow 3 billion and mortgage it with $12 billion worth
They
of
do
interest.
that
When you
all
have,
the
listen.
time. Jesus Christ, they do that all the time.
No.
Singapore owes
You don't
1.4
do that.
trillion.
No. Listen to me. You don't do that when you
Aye.
have excess foreign exchange reserve. Nigeria does not have the
Let me see.
amount now. The exact amount now. The Nigerian foreign exchange reserve is less than 2 billion, and I'm just being conservative. I'm just telling you, it's way more than that. Nigeria does not have the money in their foreign exchange reserve. Okay, so
Okay.
don't
Let,
throw
let
that
me
out there. If
let
Nigeria
me
doesn't
see
have
whether
it,
what you are saying holds up. I want to now find out the foreign reserve of Singapore. Let's see what they've got. Singapore's foreign exchange reserve was measured at about 300 and something billion US dollars. Okay, now 300 and something billion US dollars for foreign. Now let me check the foreign debt, the debt of Singapore debt. Singapore debt total debt total. Let's see what it says. Singapore's debt total equals, let's see what it says here. By the debt in Singapore was forecast to continuously increase between this is by so and so. The total debt is okay in 2023. Their total debt is 871 billion US dollars. 871 billion US dollars. So that's so it
you don't
triples
know.
their. No, no, hold on.
You
The
know what
point I'm
I
trying to make.
dislike.
Hold on, hold on. The
You know what I
oh,
dislike
let
about
come
your
on.
position.
I let you finish. Please let me
Okay.
finish. The point I'm trying to make is that just because Nigeria has a lesser this in foreign reserve doesn't necessarily mean they cannot offer more money. Singapore is a very
You
clear
know what?
example.
You know what you don't
They
know.
have a smaller foreign reserve.
You
They
know
owe
what you
4
don't know.
times more than they have in their reserve.
Listen now. You know what you don't know? That Cardozo, the CBN governor knows very well. The finance governor, minister, they know very well. You have no clue. You don't know at all. You can
You
borrow
can't
more
just say
than
me
your.
that I don't
Listen now.
know. I
Let me
don't know
tell you
anything when I'm giving
something.
you
No,
evidence.
let me tell you something. A country, you can borrow more than your GDP. How much money now is the US? See, you can borrow yourself to anywhere you want to borrow if you are a productive country. That's why US today, Japan today is borrowing more than their GDP. I think about
But
20%
that was not the
more.
point we're making.
Listen,
We're making the
no,
point that
you've just used Singapore now. You've just
no,
said
but you are making
Singapore
a
borrow.
different point altogether. You have to address the point we're making. The point we're making was that because Nigeria old.
And
This
I'm
has a
giving you the
smaller foreign
example of
reserve. We
those
cannot borrow
countries.
more money.
The reason countries that does that are countries that are productive. They have comparative
No,
advantage.
it's
You
when you
don't do
can get
that.
the money.
Countries don't do. Like, first of all, I just give you the benefit of that to calculate the 6 point whatever billion times 6. Nigeria doesn't have that in the first place, so it doesn't happen. So just forget it. So Nigeria cannot even finance. What are you talking?
The calculation
See,
I did was for 1 year, and 6 months, more than 6 months ago, if you calculate it in now, Nigeria should have raised. You remember the money they borrowed. It doesn't mean because you borrow money, you can't put it in
Nigeria
the foreign
does not.
reserve.
How on hell am I going to explain to you that Nigeria does not deposit 6.2 billion in their crude oil account or in their foreign reserve account in the last 6 months?
So Nigeria is punking the whole world by saying it's got $37 billion. Is that what you are trying to tell me?
27 billion what?
You are trying to tell me the Nigerian
Okay,
CBN.
let me go for that.
I want to hear you state it categorically that the Nigerian CBN.
Nigeria. Yes.
Hold
yes,
on.
Yes,
You want to tell me that the Nigerian CBN is lying to the entire world.
This is what Emefiele
and
did
something
to
that the
Nigeria.
entire world has accepted.
See, now,
hold on. Now you don't want to make me ask you this question.
No. I'm answering your question.
I want you to state clear. Can you let me make it clear so that we can hear you clearly? The viewers can hear you. Are you trying to say the CBN saying that Nigeria has 34 billion US dollars in reserve is false, and the world heard about it and they kept quiet as if?
But their banter, it was what else do you want us to tell you that we have not told you?
It's false.
Okay.
What else do you want that we have not told you?
Do you think Tuniger, do you think they are holding Emefiele for nothing? See,
in fact,
even your Senate president.
It's not Emefiele that is in office now.
Listen now. Emefiele was the one that perpetrated it. See,
exactly.
Emefiele perpetrated it, but it's a new CBN governor that is telling you now.
Listen.
Why are you bringing Emefiele into it?
Listen now. See, even your
this is not Emefiele's number. This is the new CBN head.
Okay, let me talk now.
But the new CBN did not miss what Emefiele did. The new CBN did not miss what Emefiele did.
See, let me tell you.
That's a different matter altogether.
Oh my God.
Is this current CBN what he's saying billion. Now? That's what you have to accept.
Listen now. You see that 34 billion they are parading? That yes. 34 billion they are parading. And why JP Morgan, the banker, says you have 3 billion. This is what happened. And that is one of the
JP Morgan said that 6 months ago. What is the matter with you?
Even to this is I would just, oh my goodness me. So, okay, listen.
Give me evidence where they said it now.
First of all, as of today, I've told you, I said as of today, the balance is less than 3 billion. And even that 3 billion, JP Morgan.
Give me evidence for it now.
Stated back then.
Because it looks like you are the one that has Nigerian reserve account.
When the $34 billion that they are parading, you will ask, if they have 34 billion, why will the banker says that they have 3 billion? What happened to 31 billion? That's a legitimate, the logical question.
Then why do you divorce yourself from the timeline between both statements?
No. I'm telling you that was, as at that time, you and I believe that Nigeria have over 30 billion in their account, in the foreign reserve. Until the banker came out and said, no, that's not the case. You know why? The reason is because Buhari literally took $31 billion cash. And what they did was that JP Morgan gave them the 31 billion, right? And the 31 billion of Nigeria as collateral. Okay, so right now, so Nigeria can still be saying that they have 31 billion, but I know anybody that have any knowledge of how the economy works knows that yes, you will put it in your financials. You will put it there in your financials that yes, you have 34 billion, but how much is available that Nigeria can tap into today that we need money? So JP Morgan is sitting on that. So we have given you upfront your money, right? They gave Nigeria. So Nigeria
like some kind of loan. So Nigeria did not, you mean like some kind of loan?
The game they plays that they didn't say that, okay, it's our money, we just want to withdraw our money outright.
But that is legitimate, even if it's some kind of loan. It's still the same thing.
No. What Nigeria have access, you see, that's the delusion there. What Nigeria have access to today, right, as at that time, was 3 billion. And as of today,
so you are the one that has Nigeria's credit limit.
You said what?
I say you are the one supervising.
No, it's what I have. Those are the facts. Those are the facts now.
Can you give us? Can you give me a proof of what you are saying, please?
A proof of what?
What you just said, that Nigeria has a credit limit of about 33
billion. It's not credit limit. I didn't say credit limit. I said Nigeria's money. Nigeria's foreign reserve.
Okay. It's not credit limit. It's withdrawal limit. It's a withdrawal limit.
If you have listen now. If you
Nigeria has a withdrawal limit of $33 billion.
Let me tell you what I'm saying. I know what I'm talking when it comes to.
But see, I would accept it if you provided me evidence. I would accept it if you provide me evidence.
Listen now. Use your own ordinary bank account. You have $34,000 in your account. You walk into your bank and you say, please give me $31,000. I need it. And your bank gives you $31,000. That will say, okay, what are you going to use as collateral for the $31,000?
Oh, no, they tire.
The guy, he just talks without evidence. I keep asking for evidence.
No. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to bring it out. You know the evidence I will bring out. I will bring all the evidences out. I'll bring it out. Mr. Elvis will bring it for the whole platform to see, not now.
So Nigeria has a credit limit of $3 billion. Nigeria is not allowed to withdraw $3 billion.
So if you walk to your bank and you say, give me $31,000, and they ask you, obviously, that what is the collateral? And you say, please, I'm using my $31,000. I say, okay, no problem. And then they say, okay, take the $31,000. And then can you go back to your bank and say you need $7,000 again?
No.
So can Nigeria go to the bank now and say they need $4 billion?
See, so let me say
so what you are saying, why are you supporting
comparisons that don't even match at all? They don't even match. See,
what is it they don't even match? I'm using your own account. Using your own account as example. Nigeria has mortgaged the money. So
see, come on, let's not argue to win. Let's try to be rational about it.
No. You don't even come there. Don't even go to about arguing to win. You don't even know what you are talking about in the first place. Because as I said earlier, I'm having this conversation with you because we are on the platform. I will have walked away because you are not making any logical sense.
You are the only one that has not provided one.
You know why? You know why I said that about an hour ago? You are arguing what you don't know. That is
I am arguing. See, okay, you can say I don't know, but the experts that know better, I provide evidence for them. You don't. You just make assertions based on.
I don't make assertions. What assertion is that? I showed you. I said
the only one you provided evidence for.
But I said go to. I'm not going to go there for you. Not on this conversation.
Hold on, Jonathan. The only evidence you provided, it became an evidence against you.
Which
because
evidence?
It turns out that it was more than 6 months ago. The quotation from JP Morgan.
Oh my God. So what you are telling me now, I'm going to bring all this out to you on the platform, the real platform, when the program is really live. I will take time. I will ask for time. I will create the
take your time, bring it out.
I will create the indulgence. I will bring it all out. So you are telling me, the truth will always come out. Listen now. You are telling me that Nigeria is depositing 6.2 billion into their forex account every month?
I didn't make that kind of claim. I'm not the central bank.
That's what you are telling me now.
Stop trying to put words in my mouth.
Are you telling? No,
you are the one that deposited it. I don't know where CBN got all the money from.
Okay, let's use your number again. And I will stop here. And you will tell me, if you can tell me, listen now, this is my final submission on this.
Stop and surrender.
Listen, let me tell you.
Your apology is accepted.
No. Listen, let me say this. I agree with you without conceding that Nigeria has 34 billion in their account, right? 34 billion.
That's what they said.
Forget it now, but you are arguing it. That means you take it. You believe it. So don't say that's what he says
Don't
again.
tell me that I'm willing to believe all these thieves.
No, now wait. Now
they say we should
Nigeria
not insult them.
has
I'm sorry if I was CBN head.
Wait,
I need your excellency.
Can you wait?
I have to take your word at face value. Carry on.
Now, can you let's have conversation? Otherwise, we call it quit. Let's have conversation. Please. You've agreed and you've argued on that basis that Nigeria has $34 billion in the foreign reserve. And I said, okay, I will take that for you without conceding. Now, add the 36 billion from September, agreeing that the 34 billion was there as at August last year.
No, nobody said that after last year.
Listen.
It's for this month too.
No. I gave you a story of August.
Oh, okay. Emefiele. I don't know why we are talking about Emefiele's time.
Listen now. Why you won't let somebody make a point so that when you agree, it's okay. See, as at August 2023, Nigeria was supposed to have $34 billion in their foreign exchange reserve account, right? The bank came out and said in a shocking revelation that Nigeria has only 3 billion. But you are saying that that is not the case, that there is no evidence to support that. And I said, agreeing with you without conceding that the 34 billion was in that account, and that now, as of today, we have to add 36 to the 34 billion, right? We must, because the 34 billion is there, right? Now, and from September that you and I calculated here, it will be 36 billion approximately, a little bit, but let's take 36, right? So if we add 36 to that 34, so to Nigeria today has 70 billion in their foreign reserve. Is that your position?
Of course not. I don't know where you got that.
Okay, let's forget it. Then I give it to you.
I
want to leave.
I accept your apology and surrender.
No, Nigeria have 70 billion. But what you are saying is,
if you can let me explain what you just said.
No, what you are saying.
All I stated was what the values for this month, and you went on and said 6 months ago, Goldman Sachs said we had 3 billion. I'm talking about this month. Can you let me finish then? Let me explain to people what you said. The only reason why we are going back to August is because you brought up Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs said we had about 3 billion in foreign reserve. And I said,
you agree with that? Okay. So let's stay on your February.
Let's see. I'm not arguing that point. I don't even know much about that. So when you said that because of that, there's no way we can have 34 billion now. I'm telling you that it doesn't necessarily explain it, that we could still have 34 billion now, from that time till now. It's possible.
Not cool. See, what was
I'm not the central bank head. I'm just giving you the numbers.
No. Everything I'm saying to you here, right now, I should have sent out about 5 links to the platform, which I will do. So see, the 34 billion, because you are arguing on the 34 billion. Okay, let's assume. So I'm now telling you that Nigeria is selling 1.9 billion barrels per day does not hold water. So if you want to take that, the 1.9 million barrels, which you argued on, that is what Nigeria is selling, and I said, okay, fine. Agree with you again without conceding. Let's do the numbers.
I send all the evidences backstage. I'm not making it up. The evidence is backstage.
So if Nigeria is selling that much per month, is it only in February? Did they do the same thing in January, in December of last year, November of last year? Or they just started? Nigeria just started selling crude oil in February. So you are using only February.
No. I'm using see, my own is this current month, the value that they gave us. You are the one that started arguing that that value is not correct.
So what you are saying, okay, let's use the current month only. Let's forget. So you are, so you don't know.
I'm saying the foreign reserve. I'm saying because the argument started from you saying that the money we get from remittance is higher than that of
and I said
I'm trying to tell you that based on the values, based on the actual values, we get more than 40 billion from crude oil.
And I said that Nigeria doesn't get, and I just told you that when you have something, your account will show that that's what you have, right? And I'm telling you that Nigeria doesn't even have that much. The 1.9 million barrels that you talked about, Nigeria doesn't bring that out on a daily basis. It's far, far, far low. It's far cry lower beyond, than, less than that number.
That is literally
so
what that word stands for.
So you cannot use that number as a basis of the amount of money that Nigeria is making.
You can't say that. It's like when they measure somebody and they say the person is 5'4".
So
you say no, don't say that you can't use that number.
Listen, if Nigeria is making that much, right? A country that is not productive, that is not producing nothing aside from this crude oil, and then you are still arguing that the country will still go borrowing at this point in time, that they will not even access even 5% of that money, then I don't know where your understanding
because
is.
When you made that argument, I gave you an example of Singapore that owes
no, and I said that they have, and I countered that they have the liberty to do that because their GDP is far higher, and that their product is an economy that is productive. Even though Singapore does not have, even though Singapore does not have one single natural resources.
But I know that, and I agree with that. But you are the one that brought that. You keep bringing argument up, and when they knock you back on it, you are the one that said the argument you brought up was about Nigerian government borrowing money. You brought it up, and I said, if that's the case, if you are saying, oh, they borrow all this money, so we can't possibly have that reserve. I'm telling you that you can borrow money, and your reserve is still this insignificant.
And I'm telling you that it doesn't make any economic sense. And I told you that even your central bank governor and your finance ministers knows that at this point in time, if they have that kind of money, it will make sense for them. Okay, even the budget, they are still going to borrow to finance it. And I told you that at the minimum, they have a room to use at least 5% of that money that they have in their external reserve. Any economist will tell you that.
No, I agree with that.
But Nigeria is not even doing that at all. So what does that tell you?
Do you think we are here defending the Nigerian economy?
That's not what I'm here to do.
The arguments. Let's not shift the goalposts. The argument was a very simple argument.
Yes, and the argument is that
Nigeria gets some crude oil versus the total Nigeria, because you seem to be a kind of going round around trying to circumvent the actual point.
I'm telling you that I'm not going round around. I'm telling you that the starting point was that Nigeria makes
you drag me everywhere, my God.
Nigeria makes more
every corner of
Nigeria makes more
of the Nigerian economy just to accept this point.
I'm not going to, because we are not. It doesn't
have to accept a straightforward point.
Nigeria makes more on foreign remittances than crude oil. If the reverse is the case, Nigeria will have more inside their crude oil.
Jonathan, save yourself the trouble. This argument, it's not even an argument. This discussion would have ended a long time ago. You could have just said, I didn't know that we're getting for the something $1 billion from crude oil. Move on.
Anyway, don't let me just say.
Anyway, you could have just agreed with me, and we'll move on to a higher level conversation.
Today is Good Friday, so I have this time just to stay. And again,
Good Friday.
Today is Good Friday. I have this time to spend, to stay.
Yeah, no, you see. Yeah,
other than that, me by now, I'm more, more. By now, I won't be here, of course. So, but anyways, see, let me tell you. See, it's a fact. Take it.
What fact?
You're not taking it.
The remittance is higher than the money you get from crude oil.
The fact is that Nigeria makes more on diaspora remittances. At least the last 2 years we show that makes more money on foreign remittances than crude oil. That's a fact. 2, that Nigerian foreign exchange reserve is less than $3 billion as we speak. And I'm being conservative. There are analysts that have less than $1 billion. There are those that even have, if you even hear the number, you will cry for Nigeria. So those are the facts that I'm laying. Those are the facts that I'm laying out.
Let me just do something. Let me just do something.
The money that they are remitting, that the diasporas are remitting to Nigeria, that those money end up in the Nigerian economy, and they are used. But the fact that they are not using it effectively, they are using the money. Once the money comes in, they use their stolen naira, exchange it, take that same money, siphon it back to Europe and to the West again. So that is why the Nigerian economy is suffering. If those dollars that are coming in are being used effectively for developmental purposes, we will not have this problem. So when you and I, Nigerians in diaspora, remit the money, they use their stolen naira, they convert it to dollar. The man that needs the $20,000, just the $30,000, the importer, just quickly to go and buy product, do his business, make legitimate business and make profit, will be forced to go to the aboki on the one corner of the street to go and exchange his naira to dollar. And this diaspora money that they are getting, they are not even exchanging it at the same rate that the aboki is exchanging it. They will exchange it at a far lower rate. That is what is killing the Nigerian economy. But now you will see that they try to shift. That is the reason why today the disparity between what the aboki is getting and what, if you go to the bank, you will get is only 10 naira.
Oh, are you, hold on, let me ask again, because I think that's the interesting point you are making right now. Are you saying that the exchange rate with the aboki guy versus what you get from the bank
is 10 naira?
It's very slim now.
That's what they see. It's 10 naira, because that's what they have to. That is what they are doing now. That is why it's 10 naira now. That
when did this take effect?
This has taken effect since about a month ago. When that one has taken, there's a CBN circular. Go and all these things are there. All you need to do. You see, just go to CBN.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just trying to
CBN. Let me make it easier for you. See, if you go to CBN, you read all the press releases and all the circular, you will even see the ones where they release with respect to money payment. All these things we've been talking about for more than 2 hours now. You will see it there. You will see the one that they even mandated the aboki. They cannot sell. They cannot take more than, they can't put more than 10 naira as profit.
Now you begin to see why.
But in reality, in reality though, it's not happening. The aboki are still taking more than that. But
of course, they are going to try to do illegal thing in Nigeria.
But that's what they try to achieve. And the example I gave earlier, that is the reason why they did that was to attract diaspora. If you know the impact of the money diaspora are putting into the Nigerian economy, see these Nigerian politicians, they are in Nigeria. They still consider themselves as diaspora too. The money they have stolen previously, that they have converted to dollar and brought it to the West, they are returning it to Nigeria. So they change the money at that expensive rate. See, they change it to naira at 1,500, 1,400. By the time they are converting it back again at this cheaper rate now, they will get more dollar. So at the end of the day, somebody that brought in, let's just use simple number. If you take your $10,000 to Nigeria in January and you exchange it for 1,500 naira, and you have the naira in your hand. Today, if you want to exchange the naira back to dollar, you will get more than $10,000. Yeah. Is that not a profit?
No. So I get what you are saying there in terms of the money shenanigans that is going on in Nigeria. But I think regarding the exchange rate policy that the government wanted to pursue, if they succeeded in trying to harmonize the black market, so-called black market rate versus the this in CBN rate, I think that is not necessarily a bad thing on its own. But the real problem still remains. The instability in the economy is the true enemy of the
as a business person, as a Nigerian, I don't support the economy policies of the Nigerian government right now, what they are doing. I don't support it by any means. But as a business person, see, I will take fullest advantage of this dollar naira right now. Because for me, if I don't do that, that would be contrary to
That you
business
mean to change
principle.
it to naira?
Yes, because no, I'm talking like if you take your today, let's just use today. If you take your dollar to Nigeria today and you change your dollar, let's just take your $1,000. You go to Nigeria today and you exchange it, and they give you 1,300 naira, right? 1,300 naira. And then you go to your bank, you go to your bank, and then you have the 1.3, you have 1.3 million in naira. And then you told your bank, please, I want to buy the Nigerian bond for 24%. Please, they will do it for you there, right on the spot there. You won't spend 30, 40 minutes in your bank. They will take you to one room. You will fill the necessary form. They will
See, I
change.
think when it's see on this area, I'm a bit dark. I don't
No, I'm
know
just
much
telling
about
you. I'm
Nigerian
just telling you that. I'm just
bonds.
telling you that what they are doing, which to them, this is not about Nigeria or Nigerians. This is about them to make a lot of money. This is business. Nigerians think that this is for them. It will only be good for Nigeria if Nigeria is a productive country and they are investing in the productive sector. But as it stands right now, it is for them. That's your 1,000. You invest it there in Nigeria. And in August, you turn around in August. Naira is now 1,000 naira to a dollar. You will get 1,300 or $1,400. That's your profit. That's what you have made by doing that. Plus the 24% divided by 4. Let's say you invested it for 1 quarter, 90. Let's say you do 90 days. So you will get your 24% on 90 days plus the difference in dollar. That's why you will see them. They will try to pull the dollar, the naira, to about 1,000 or thereabout. This is for their own advantage. But guess what? By the time they are buying the dollar back, because those naira, they want to change it to dollar back. That's where the race will come. That's why I told Nigerians that say, come later on. The dollar is going back up. It's not going to stay because the money is going back to where it came from. Because if it is me now and I have my $1,000 and my $1,000 is now, I now have the money, I want to change it back to dollar. The only way that will make me not to change it back to dollar is if I have a business in Nigeria that I'm investing in. Maybe I have a factory. But because I'm taking my money back, I want to change it back. So there will be rush for dollar again. Everybody wants to convert again. And guess what? It's not regular people. It is themselves, because this money will now be billions. How many governors that will be chasing this dollar? How many ministers, special advisors? Because all of them now have bought this CBN bond. They have bought it. Make no mistake about that. All of them are in it. And then when they collect, all of them, or most of them, so to say, will now want to convert it back to dollar. And it will be a race. Every governor will.
Very few people know about bonds. Very few people know about bonds. Neither do I. I'm not very clear on what bonds
That is why
represent.
they are using. That's what they are doing right now. That is the money. Okay, that is the money they are spending now. Where do you think Nigeria just from nowhere got 2 trillion naira from? Naira, and naira. Where was the 2 trillion naira? Who has 2 trillion naira? Is it not
For
themselves?
me, the policy of the government should discourage use of dollars, and it's very simple. Discourage use of dollars, secure the nation, get electricity going, and the Nigerians will do the rest. Leave the rest for ordinary people to do. The ordinary so-called masses will take care of the country.
Anyways, let's
That's
leave
all.
let's leave it at that. It's been a day. I really appreciate it.
It's fair exchange. It's fair exchange, and
It's
I
very good.
accept your apology
Yes.
and your surrender. You are
Yeah,
welcome. Eh?
you are so fun. I
Yeah.
don't know that this is what Black Panther and CM. This is what and give us a mandate. This is how they engage you. You even when you don't give up, even when you don't know, you will not give
What do
up.
you mean? I just
You
the
still,
backstage is
in
full of
fact,
my evidence.
I respect these guys. Black Panther, Dr. CM, give us a mandate.
Now you respect them all because
Mr.
of me.
Elvis,
Am
you know,
I
like
supposed to be flattered or what? What are
they
you
just
talking about?
you said what?
I
Yeah,
say you respect them all because of me.
yeah. No. I respect them because why? They take you on, like as in they take you
Oh,
on successfully.
by saying that,
Like they
conversely,
take
you are saying I'm quite a formidable character.
no. They take you on successfully,
See,
each and
let me
every
put this
time.
to you. See, let's be serious here. Everything we've said, I backed mine up with evidence, and you have to respect that to an extent. I'm not relying only on my own, and I'm not saying I know too much. That's why
You know why?
I borrow knowledge from people that know better than I do.
You know why your evidences are faulty.
Mm-hmm.
If not all of them, they are all faulty. Is because this source is an issue, and you are not putting them to scrutiny. You are not using them in a logical way. The fact that somebody just came out now and tell me that, oh, I got this thing from Guardian, then you think I would just take it all lines
No. See,
just like that?
you
I've
remember,
just gone away with it.
before I bring evidence, I've actually made my
See,
own
let me
submissions on it.
divert.
Then I'll pluck
Let me
evidence to back it
digress.
up.
Let me digress. Let me digress a little bit. That is exactly the problem we have in Nigeria. And whenever you see that, you know, this is a typical Nigerian politician or someone who is a spokesman for Nigerian politician, because they believe that anything that comes from the Nigerian government, Nigerians will just take it. They without even mind. That's why in Okwama now, they want everybody to believe their narrative and their narrative only. Anything else, you are a criminal. When everything they did in Okwama was not subject to scrutiny, was not subject to external, scrutiny. But then they will now come. If you say anything, you are a criminal, to the extent that a traditional ruler is being declared wanted because
Yeah,
he
that's
said.
interesting. Actually,
So
I
you
heard
can't.
about that traditional
So
leader.
I don't. So I
Sorry.
don't
What
take.
happened with the traditional leader of Okwama? Because they said they brought him back or something. What is that all about? Did they hold him? Is he responsible for
The man as a traditional ruler is not going to abscond or run away. He presented himself. He went to the police station and said, "Here I am. You declare me wanted." Then let's see what they will do to the traditional ruler. Whether they will take him to the military barracks and lock him up for
I think
good.
I saw a report that said they brought him back.
They
That's
have
what
to. They have to. You want to take a traditional ruler? Why? Because even that is how Nigeria works. Nigeria, they know that Nigeria don't subject information to scrutiny. Nigeria takes everything that comes from them.
But what I
And
find a little bit weird is that why were they acting as if the traditional leader was some kind of suspect? That is what I found.
these people are ready to take on anybody that says anything contrary to their own narrative. Anything that is contrary to their own narrative, you are a criminal. Just today, now, I believe it was a Massive Prince that he mentioned the journalist, the investigative journalist, is now declared wanted by the Nigerian police because he brought out the fact, something contrary to what they want us to believe. Now the guy is a criminal. Nigerian system is not set up or made for truth, for you to say the truth. And
I've told you guys the solution to that. Nigeria right now encourages bad behavior, and it encourages people that lack integrity to emerge. If you want to deal with that, you have to start being serious with people that break the law. You have to have capital punishment so that it gives people the people with integrity space to emerge and flourish. That's what you do.
Why that is relevant to all the economic discussion, Naira, whatever we'll be having, is because in your submission, you are taking everything. If you just read something, no, I don't do that. I don't do that. Even when I read, see,
but you're not paying attention to me. You're not paying attention. You are the one that say you go and read and come and tell me everything.
You know why? That's partly not entirely, but partly because of my background. I may work in the financial sector now, or in that as a business person or whatever. But my original background, I was trained as a journalist. I was trained to scrutinize and to subject everything. So I don't, even when you tell me something, I don't take it. I will listen, but it doesn't matter from where it comes from. I will still subject it to scrutiny. By so doing, I will get more facts. And at the end of the day, if my facts are not there, it doesn't mean then I will know that, okay, they are not there, but not on something that I already know. So when somebody now comes out and start throwing out information, and does not want those information to be subject to scrutiny. The fact that I read something from Vanguard today, or the Guardian, Nigeria Today, when I know fully well the society, I'm a Nigerian, born and bred in Nigeria, know how the system works in its entirety. So anything will just come from Nigeria, I will just take it like that. That is at my own
I
peril.
think you can say you don't agree with the information, but you cannot just dispute all information, especially when the information is not relying only on the Nigerian entities.
It used to be that.
The
It used to
information
be that.
becomes this thing global.
You see, it used to be
Because
like that before.
if you the problem is, if you accept one information from the Nigerian entities or organizations, and you don't accept the other information, it seems like you are picking and choosing your facts.
I know.
You have to take all of them and use
that
them and do your analysis on all of them.
that
based
position
on that.
was right before, as far as Nigeria is concerned. Where before, say, where when you get something from Nigeria, you will say it's half truth. Part of it is right, part of it is wrong, things like that. But Nigeria of today, if Nigerian government comes out and tell you something today, most likely the entire statement are all wrong. All of it, they are all wrong at the end of the day. You will not even see one truth there. It's not possible in Nigeria. And I can bet, I can put money down.
Let's not exaggerate things too much. There are some things that are going on in Nigeria. Does it lead us to development? No. Does it lead us to a more secure country? No. Does it lead us to a lot of prosperity? No. It doesn't mean nothing is going on in Nigeria. Some things are happening in Nigeria. Like I said before, I've seen somebody that has gotten some money to start fish farming in Nigeria. So the government is involved with people. And there are some young people are gaining from it. Some people are not getting. In short, they are basically standing still in the end. So it's not like it's not. If those things are, the point I'm trying to make is that if those things are happening, that probably means not every single thing they say is false. The roads that you walk on in Nigeria, somebody paved it. Not everything that they said is false about that road that was built. So there are good people out there doing good work in Nigeria too.
Nigerians are resilient people to the point where they can move things. If you hear the Nigerian government say they are going to give somebody, or we were talking about it on this platform some few days ago, if they said they are going to give someone 2 million naira, at the end of the day, what will end up in the pocket of that person may be 700 or 800,000 naira. Nigerians will still take it, go ahead and do what they expected to do with 2 million originally. They will say that's resilient people. They are so determined. So that's why these politicians knows that, don't worry, it's 2 million, but don't worry, just give them 800 or 700. They will figure it out. They will sort it out.
Seriously, what I find within the Nigerian space right now, because of what the people have been subject to, it's almost like some part of their awareness seems to be either a little bit distorted or somewhat broken. The awareness of everything around them is not as clear like the way people have it here. And it's not always obviously it's not their fault. It's the situation in the country and the kind of leadership they are under. But in the end, the economic policy of the government is not leading us anywhere. The security policy of the government is not leading us anywhere. The foreign policy they don't have any. Zero. They don't have foreign policy. Regional policy, they don't even have. They don't. Everything the way they run that country is not proper. and I really need to find the picture of that hall in Kaduna where they brought those rescued hostages, children, because that
Mm,
hall that shows the colonial this thing, rulers of the country, the territory that they used to call Nigeria before,
mm.
and to include that amongst our head of states is crazy. That lack of awareness, for me, I think I need to address that
No,
much stronger.
that you can see that much more in northern Nigeria. In
Yes,
northern Nigeria, not
it's in the
because
north. I don't think I've ever seen it in the south.
what the north in Nigeria, what they have today in Nigeria, or the level that they had in Nigeria today, they hold it to the British. You know,
Okay, now
if
the
not for
point
the
you make is
British,
very interesting. Actually,
they will
that's an
not be
interesting
there.
point. Let me just add this. Could it be argued that they probably what you said just now is true, but I worry that the reasoning is a little bit distorted because the British just fancy them and did some stuff with them to help them control Nigeria. But I think the reason maybe they have um, a kind of gratitude towards the British is because for them that region, that northern region of Nigeria, especially when we talk about northern, I'm talking about even just above Kaduna. If you look at other African countries, they don't have access to the sea. Most of them don't have access to the sea. They are all, that's what we call the Sahel. And Nigeria gave them that access to the sea in a big way. And also Nigeria is also a massive country with a lot of oil resources. So you can see, compared to their neighbors and their cousins in, their neighbors in Niger, Mali and all that, they are doing better here. So you can see why maybe for that reason they may owe the British, like they will feel like, oh yeah, you must have done some good for us. Otherwise, we would have been like Niger right now. You see what I mean? They would have been like Niger if, I mean, the British allowed them to just go on their own. They will be landlocked.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good to recognize the fact that what the northern Nigerians, especially the Hausas and the Fulanis, what they are enjoying in Nigeria today was given to them by the British people.
Isn't that how it all happens? That's how nations are created. That's the truth
You
of
know,
it.
was given to them. That in the first place, it was not balanced. The arrangement of Nigeria was not balanced, and again, part of it was our leaders who agreed to that arrangement. Because I would have preferred a situation where 1960 Nigeria was still it was still not an independent country, so that probably Nigeria will still be there, like the likes of Zimbabwe, who was the former Rhodesia, that got their independence in 1980, maybe around that time. Nigerians will be more
Yeah,
developed
Nigeria would have fought for
because
freedom then.
The British people will probably not go easy if the
Yeah, that
oil
would have been bloody, and that would have made us stronger for it.
if the oil was in full stream. They see that the oil was in full stream by 1960, 65, 64. That wow, they've seen the oil. They won't go. They will not just walk away
If
like
we
that.
had fought for independence, it would have made us stronger. However, I think because Nigeria came together, the way Nigeria they put Nigeria together. If you look at North African countries, the way they created them, they created Northern African countries the way they didn't do the Southern Western African countries, because North African countries, they start from the Mediterranean Sea, and they gave them every nation in North African country. I think it's only Tunisia that doesn't necessarily have access to the desert as far. Look at Algeria, goes all
Mm,
the way to Mali. This in Libya goes all the way to Sudan and Niger. All of them very big territories. Morocco,
mm,
big territories, and all of them
mm,
have access to the sea. But in the case of West Africa, they locked quite a few inland. Like Mali, they locked it inland. They locked Burkina Faso inland. They locked Niger inland, but it's only in the Nigerian space, to an extent, they allow some of them that normally are locked inland to be to have access to the sea in a big way. And you can argue that that is probably why they
That's not
feel. a
That's
bit
not
of
the
gratitude
only.
towards the British,
That's
which
not
they
the only
shouldn't really,
reason.
because that's not how it's supposed to be. I
Well,
believe that Nigeria should have been created like from Nigeria to like if they are going to be created at all. I don't subscribe to the idea that the British people should come and even divide our territories at all. But if that was happening, if Nigeria was created from Nigeria to Niger, to the end of Niger, it would have been better off. Because right now, Nigeria is so populated. It's like we are jailed in Nigeria. All the nations surrounding us, we outnumber all of them put together more than twice.
at the
How
minimum,
ridiculous is that?
at the
Yeah.
minimum, Nigeria should have been, the British should have, at the minimum, it should have split Nigeria into three. And that is minimum as at the time they are living.
But that would mean we would have taken more territories. We have our big problem is not that we are Nigerians in this space. Our big problem is that we have a small country for such a lot of people, a tiny
Yeah.
territory. Can you imagine if we own Niger, if we own Cameroon?
Why? What you mean that so the whole country called Nigeria will also include Cameroon and Niger?
You know why? Because the population density will be less.
That's not what makes a country great.
Oh
Anyway,
no, no, I feel like the density
when
is
you
not
look at
helping us.
when you look at the former, that's exactly what we had in the former USSR. See how big they are, but eventually they split. And
Most of it was
smaller
frozen
countries
wasteland now.
broke out from the both from the south.
Most of
From
Russia was a frozen wasteland. You can't compare that to like Nigeria.
most
That
of
is
no
lush.
no what I no but wasteland, but with millions of people though. You want to talk of, do you know, you want to talk of all those countries that broke out. Let's even forget about Ukraine. Let's forget about Belarus. Let's forget about Moldova. All those ones that are very close to Western Europe. Let's forget. Go to those ones that are even close to China, the Kazakhstan, the Uzbekistan, the Kyrgyzstan. Talk of all those ones. And they are
Tajikistan.
all, can you imagine, all one country? So it's not going to work. Eventually, what happened was needed.
No. Those are not densely populated. I'm talking about in the context of Nigeria, where all the nations around it has more population. And I think these colonizers, what they did was they played a clever game on us. Because if you look at Ethiopia, the same thing happened to Ethiopia. It's only Congo that has large landmass compared to their population. Ethiopia too was given a small landmass and locked away from the ocean, and yet they outnumber all the nations surrounding them. All the nations surrounding them, they outnumber all of them. And the same thing is like in Nigeria. Nigeria is the most densely populated nation in Africa, the most densely populated territory in Africa, and yet we have areas that are not densely populated all surrounding us, which doesn't seem fair.
When
Niger
it
Republic,
comes
we should
to
own that
Nigeria,
territory. We should own the Niger Republic, and we should own Chad.
the issue in Nigeria is that the population is not evenly spread at all. It's not evenly spread. So some area is so densely populated, you have so many people. Whereas in Nigeria, you can drive in Nigeria 2-3 hours is all land. All you will just be seeing is just land.
The area you do that is not that big. That's the problem.
Even,
It's
even
not
in the
that big.
west, even for about the north where there is massive land there, in the west alone, you can. That's why you have all these big forests. The people are not there. But if it were to be a country where there is development and they are spreading it across board, you know, people will not
Let me
be.
check Nigeria population density and compare that to that. Nigeria population density is quite high for an African nation. It's really quite high. I think they said the population
Is it
density
per?
is
Are you talking of density per state
per
or
square mile.
per
Per
square?
square mile.
Okay.
Versus the overall landmass. So we have 636 people per square mile. So, but if you go to like a country like Niger now, what do you get? 56 people per square mile.
That's what I'm saying
Cameroon.
now. That's what I'm saying. That it is simply because development is not, spread. Then people have to come to where there is, infrastructure. People have to move from their villages. They want to come to Lagos. People want to go to the major cities.
Yeah, but
So,
even if you go to northern Nigeria, the areas that are supposed to be empty, there are people there. I believe that if let's say Nigeria had the territory of Chad and this in maybe even Benin Republic and that of Niger,
See,
more Nigerians would be in Niger right now, wouldn't they?
that's
Because
not the
it's going to
problem.
be part of the Nigerian territory. More Nigerians would be in
That's
Chad
not the
because
problem.
it's going to
That's
be
not
part
the
of Nigerian
problem.
territory.
That's not the problem of Nigeria today, though. You
No,
know,
no, no. It's not the problem of Nigeria.
it's
The
not the
problem of
problem
Nigeria
of
is
Nigeria today.
more of a self-inflicted one. We are the ones causing most of our problem by ourselves.
The,
Let's face
the
it.
issue, the issue with Nigeria is that the country needs to find its level by by everybody just splitting. Just split the country up. Let everybody find their level. You know,
Yeah,
and
because
if that is not, and
you
if
are going to
that
go to
and
the
if
new
that is
country
not going
without
to
any of those
happen,
crazy people.
well, if that is not going to happen, there are minimum, standard or requirement that must be met. It is one or it is either or.
You know,
Either the country is split or certain minimum
it's
standard
let
or
me say
requirement
this.
must be
Let
met.
me put it this way: it's either or. Either way, the problem remains.
No, I
I
mean,
think
I mean to solve the problem. It
no,
is
but it won't
either
solve the problem. That's the problem. They breaking up the country. If the country, let's say you break up the country and the problem is solved, the reason why the problem is solved is not necessarily because the country broke, it's because something happened to make it happen. Because if it was because of the nature of Nigerians itself, like only Nigeria, then you're going to ask, why is Cameroon poor? Why is Benin Republic poor? Why is Togo poor? Why is Ghana poor? Why are all of them poor? They're all poor nations, really. We might like to think that Ghana is slightly better than Nigeria because they don't have a lot of wars. Yeah, but they are all still poor nations compared to other parts of the world. So it tells you that our problem is not that majority of our problem that is making us really poor is not coming from all this stuff we
in
like
the
to
in
associate
the
with
in the
Nigeria,
that position,
at least
you
directly
know,
anyway.
that position, hold very strongly, maybe 4, 5, 3 decades ago. But now, in this age and time, in this century that we are in right now, given the opportunity, all these countries they will do better. But the problem is that the damage has been done. Criminals have established themselves. They have hijacked the system, captured the country completely. So even though they are smaller countries, they are not growing because the entire system has been captured. They have created this
It
system
remain
where
captured, and I think the mistake we made as Africans is that I don't know whether it's a mistake. It's almost like the mistake we made. I think the real critical mistake we made, especially the people, and it may not have been avoidable. It's like something you cannot avoid. Is that we believed it was a great mistake that we believed we are actually free, and because we saw our leaders as our own leaders, the mistake that was a catastrophic mistake that our leaders, when they actually interacted with foreigners that they see as an extension of us, they are not necessarily representing us. They just go there and kowtow to everything that the other people want without defending any of our interests at all. And
that has been
that's a grave mistake that we made. We don't. How can you know that? You can't know that if your leaders don't tell you. How are you supposed to know?
that has been on for decades. And those ones amongst the leaders, I'm talking of 40, 50 years ago, those amongst the leaders that have that kind of possibility of actually doing the right thing, they eliminated them. They did not allow them to really grow or give them the
Mm,
room because they know,
yes.
talk of Patrick Mulumba, they got rid of Patrick Mulumba.
Mm.
Even in Nigeria, they brought all this division even among the leaders, those that fought for,
And the thing is, and the thing also is that I think the ones that emerged, they did try to emerge, but it's like when you plant a seed in an environment that is very hostile to life, and that is what they did. They emerged at a time and in an environment that didn't enrich them enough to be able to know exactly what to do. Because I feel like Patrice Lumumba, the way he died, he shouldn't have died like that. I feel like the
even,
way
even Thomas Sankara.
Sankara, the way that he should
Yeah,
have done that. He should have been very, very. Look at what India. I mean, it took Tanzania to literally invade to get rid of Idi Amin. Look at this in Libyan leader Gaddafi. He had to take a bombing from NATO and a serious military action. You have to be strong in security wise. Castro survived them. Castro survived them and died of old age, and his brother is probably going to die of old age
Is
again. So it's not everybody that they defeat. You can
is
even South Africa survived them. Mugabe survived them. So
the
you see
only
what I
way,
mean? It's not everybody
but
that
that's
died.
why you see the idea is simply because they believe that they have this stronghold on the economy of all these African countries, and that without them, no African country can stand on our own or survive economically. So if you look at any country that is ready to suffer, pretty much have your people suffer, like almost eating on the street, eating on the garbage, then you can now do without us.
You
And
see,
they use Mugabe, they use Zimbabwe as an example. So most
mm,
African countries don't even want to go there, like to face them, which is wrong,
mm.
which is wrong. Today it is even clear, very obvious, that the West need Africa more than Africa needs the West. It is very, very obvious. It takes no time. See, the resources that we need in Nigeria, let me just even narrow it down to Nigeria. We don't need any foreign country at all. We can even
Mm.
start the way they have siphoned and taking our resources to develop their countries. That's what it should be now. We now, this is the time for us to start taking it from them and bringing it back. That's why I advocate to for Nigerian leaders that, look, all this project that you want to do, you don't even need to borrow money to do them. You don't need to borrow at all. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You have everything. You don't need to borrow. In fact, in addition, you start taking their resources and bring it back home to develop our country. Just the way they have been using all the stolen billions, if not trillions of dollars over the decades that have been stolen from Africa to all these Western countries. They have used it to develop their countries. The same way now you can start taking their resources and bring it back
I
to
think
Africa.
to take their resources and bring it back, one of the easiest ways to do that is to tap into that 20 million diasporans we have, and have them, encourage them to start returning back and transferring intellectual property rights from the West. Many of them have companies in the West too, and start having them come back to the country to invest. Obviously, you have to secure the country and all the rest, but for them to come, then they can start, because we can develop ourselves twice as fast as the Chinese did. If the Chinese, it took them 40 years, we could do it in 20 years, because we have more technology now available to us to advance faster, and we have more people in the diaspora, more than the Chinese at the time when the Chinese were developing, especially in the most critical countries. Like, we have Nigeria, a lot of Nigerians in America, not to mention the greater diaspora African Americans there too that we have. We have them in Europe. So you can tap into all these things for them to assist in developing the continent too. But does our leaders do anything like
I
that?
told,
No,
I
not at
told,
all.
I tell Nigerians now, just small group of Nigerians. I was telling them that, see, look, there is money that you can bring from the West to Nigeria. That this is 21st century. Yes, as you said, we now have Nigerians in the diaspora. Is an advantage to us. And if you compare that to the 60s or the 70s, the class of diasporans that we have now, they are wealthier, they are more educated, more enlightening, they have resources compared to the 60s, the 70s, where they just go there, they study, and they are just doing regular jobs and all the rest. But it's a different ball game now, that Nigerians can enter into the diaspora. Now, Nigerians currently in the diaspora can bring massive resources. And I give the example of just one example alone, that the Nigerian natural gas, that if you take the natural gas of Nigeria, just take it for example, and bring it to, say, the London Stock Exchange, and float it there. see, the issue of foreign exchange for Nigeria will come to an end in 6 months or less. Yes. But you know the problem they have, or take it to New York.
Why would it matter if you float it there when you don't have security? Nobody is still going to invest in
No,
a
no,
country
no.
that
That is why,
barely has
because it's
rules
all
of
about.
law.
See, okay. Why are they investing in Niger Delta, taking the crude oil?
Oh no, they
The
are
West,
investing there because they are
the
going there
West
to
will
reap money.
invest. The West will invest where the money is. They will even invest on security themselves. It is their money. They will invest because they will
But not
protect their own.
officially. I think what I'm saying is
Yeah,
that
okay, yeah,
in
I
stock
know,
market officially they will
but
not want to do that.
no, see, the way it works is this: is that, see, if you take Nigerian, uh, say the natural gas, and you take it there, right? And then you said you want, say, $20 billion. They will give you $20 billion right off now. They will give you $20 billion right off. The question is only that what will Nigerian government? And I tell people, and I tell people that, okay, for me as a person, me as a Nigerian, I will be comfortable to take my $5,000, for example, and invest it in Nigerian. They can call it whatever name. It's SPV. Call it whatever name you want to call it in London, in London, or in America. I will put my $5,000 there. Now, why won't I? Nigerian in diaspora. This, maybe we said this 20 billion, 30 billion per year or whatever. It will be times 4, times 5 of that. Every Nigerian will do it. You see,
And that $20 billion they are sending is chicken change compared
it's
to
chicken change,
how
because
much
you will
of
feel.
their spending power is. Their spending power is a
It's also,
lot, like more than 10 times higher than that.
yeah, yes,
So
it's also a sense of nationalism. Nigeria just say, okay, I'm a Nigerian. Aramco they are doing the same thing. Petronas is doing the same thing. I don't know what is
I don't. Why
Kuwaiti
are we
oil is
even
doing
worrying
the same
about?
thing.
Why do we even worry about sanctions? We don't even need their money.
The only problem, no, you need it. Oh, you
No,
need it.
tell me where we need their money, and I will tell you how we can get that same money. Go
No,
ahead.
that is how we can get that same money, because, see, your natural resources that you have, either way you have to sell it, right?
Oh yeah, there are a lot of people that will buy it without
No, that's what I'm
investing.
saying. That you will sell. You know what they are afraid of? What Nigerian leaders are afraid of is accountability. Because why? The way it stands right now, the status quo, they can lie as they used to, they can manipulate, they can steal, and nobody will ask them any question. The judiciary has been bought over, nothing will happen. But if you take, for example, set up an SPV, put it out there in London or in America, in New York, see, your responsibility shift from Nigeria to UK. So if you are the CEO, for example, of Nigeria, say Nigerian Gas, they just give it a name, or if they want to disguise it, they just give it a name. You see, they just Aramco. There's nothing like Saudi Aramco. It's just Aramco. Petronas of Malaysia. It's just Petronas. So you can give it a name, and then it's there. You see, the people that manages that SPV or that company there in London, if they do any stupid thing, they will go to jail in the UK. They will go to jail in UK. They are immediately, effectively under the jurisdiction of the regulatory system in United Kingdom, under the jurisdiction regulatory system in United States. So there will be accountability. Even though they may play some games, all companies does that. They work on their books. Google does it, Apple does it, all of them, they work, but not at the detriment of their shareholders to the point where it will be disastrous or damaging. They can do that just to kind of, make it look nice here and there. That's fine. But to lie outright, to steal outright, that will no longer happen. Then Nigeria will also know what is
They
going on.
steal. The way they steal is legal stealing. They steal through bonuses,
You
benefits, and
got it.
all
Yeah,
that
they can now
stuff.
steal through bonus everything. But in terms of Nigerians knowing that, oh, we have sold what I was talking about all the day, that we have sold $10 billion of crude oil, or we sold 10 billion in the last quarter, because you must put out your quarterly report. It's not about if or but. You must put out your
It's
quarterly report.
essential now because
It's
the other
essential.
companies want
You
to weigh
must,
you
yes,
to
you must
check
put
up
out
how you are
you
doing.
must put out your annual report for people, for the market, for your financial orders to see. That's what Aramco is doing. That Aramco declare almost about $50 billion with all the money that they have. Petronas about over $100 billion. So what are you kidding me? That's the kind of money Nigeria will be getting. So Nigeria and you can now invest. You can invest, you can set up, holdings and everything under the company, and money will be coming. So you can come out and say, okay, we want to raise 20 billion today. You will get it in UK there within 2 hours. 2 hours, the money will come out. So, but their problem is because they don't want to be accountable. They want to hold on to everything. So that's why even a governor, even let's leave the national level, even a governor in Nigeria, just a governor, can do the same. You can go there. There's so many projects in your state that you can package the project, take it to London, take it to US, and go and raise your $10 billion and bring it to your state and develop your state. Right? You can so that's why I'm always so worried, and sometimes it's not worried, like I'm mad. Let me just put it that way. With all these governors who doesn't know anything, you don't have anything on their head other than to just go to Abuja every month and steal. For example, take a state
But
that has.
let's not completely hold only them. We are all at it. We are the ones that put them there and probably encourage them to be as they are. Some of these people, the people that elected them in, family members, want them to do these things too. So it's almost like it's a kind of symbiotic behavior that we all encourage, and sometimes we don't even know we are
Let me
doing
give
it.
you let me give you one example now. Like in Canada now. In Canada, in one province alone in Canada, it is the hub, is the mining hub, the money hub of mining in the world.
Yep.
Like an individual inside his bedroom.
Let's round up in 5 minutes,
Okay,
please.
Mr. Elvis. So anyway, so let's leave it at that. It's just that
Yeah, we've
our
already
people,
covered a lot of ground, and
yeah.
he has surrendered and apologized to me for everything he has said.
Mr. Elvis, I really appreciate you the more today. What you face with this man. This
Thank
man,
you.
this man is you people, you really tackle him very well. It takes the likes of you. It takes the likes of you, Black Panther, Dr. CM, give us to tackle this man and to tackle him down. Some people you need to tackle them down and hold them tight on ground. If not,
Oh,
he won't stay on ground.
that's
So
what kind of tackling is that? That
and they
kind of
tackle you
tackling when
very
you are
well. They
losing,
tackle
you
you
think you
very
are tackling somebody.
and they
I,
tackle you very well.
it's
All
all
right.
good. It's all good. It's all good.
Thank you.
Ni- Nice
Okay,
conversation.
now.
Nice
All
conversation.
right. Thank
I
you very much.
appreciate you, all,
Uh,
man. I appreciate you. All. That was a nice session. As you all know, on this platform, we all are learning. That's one beautiful thing about it. So we cannot know everything at the same time. I appreciate every one of you for your time with us today. We've come to the end of the broadcast. We're going to continue again from where we stop later on, 6 p.m. Help us to press that like button, help us to share. For those of you still watching us right now, I appreciate you. Do your part, press on the like, and help us to share. And God will bless you now. Good night, everyone, and bye for now.
Thank you.